All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello. Welcome to the Super Magic Show. I hope you're having a great day today. It is December 22nd in the year of our Lord 2025. Can you believe that 2025 is over in just a few days? Can you believe how fast time flies, man? It is crazy. So this is probably going to be the last Super Magic Show of the year. However, it might not be because I'm trying to get my friend Jamie to come on to promote the PAR project and to talk about Dragon Ball Z versus Dragon Ball Kai. So look forward to that because that may be coming either next week or early, like really early next year. So look forward to that. Welcome, of course. And today, is this thing? There we go. I was like, wait a minute, why am I zoomed in so much? Anyway, so today, boy, do we have a packed show for you today, folks. There have been a ton of Dragon Ball rumors circulating in the past few weeks, including some alleged leaks. Now, I'm going to make this very clear to everybody, and I'm probably going to repeat myself. I don't know how many times during the stream, but you know what? I am prepared for it. I have done some meditation, and I'm not going to get pissed off at answering the same question over and over again today. At least I'll try not to, all right? But I'm only human. When it comes to leaking what's coming, okay, we're not going to go into whether or not these projects are coming. I'm not going to reveal to you the fact or fiction about these. Some of these things, you probably already know what's fact or fiction using deductive reasoning. That's not the purpose of this show. The purpose of this show is we're going to talk about the 5 big, I guess you can say rumors or whatever you want to call it, about what's coming in January. And we're going to discuss the pros and the cons. Listen up, the pros and the cons. So we'll be going into the possibilities. And of course, we're going to have you guys vote. I'm planning on doing a poll here so that you guys can, so that way I know kind of what you want. So let me go ahead and bring my guest on here so that we could talk about it. He, when I told him I was doing this show, thank you so much, Fruity Bubbles Gum Kush. That's a cool name. When I told him I was doing this show, he insisted on coming on, and he told me why. So we're going to talk about it. But first time ever on as a co-host or guest. I got to be more like guest here on the Super Magic Show. Please welcome Darth Medios. He disappeared. Yo, right when I was about to bring him in. Wait a minute. Okay, let's try this again. Darth Medios, you disappeared the second I was going to bring you in.
Yeah, the StreamYard was broken, but it's working now. Hello, everybody.
The minute that I push the button to bring you in, it stops working, or were you trolling me?
No. The minute it happened, it stopped working. I was just panicking because you were calling me, and I'm like, maybe if I refresh, and it worked. So now it's working.
You should have done that before. Anyway,
I should have.
It's all good. It's all good. Welcome. What's going on with you?
Not much. Excited to talk about the future of Dragon Ball today on the Super Magic Show.
So 2026, right, is right around the corner. Big year for Dragon Ball. I want to reiterate some things for you guys before we dive into this, okay? And we are going to be talking a little bit about the video games too. I wanted to reiterate something. The announcements that are going to be coming at the Genki Matsuri event, right? That's going to be January 29th. So it's literally right around the corner, about 5 weeks. And I wanted to tell you that, and just so that everybody understands we're all on the same page here, they're going to be doing 2 announcements that are projects and a video game. I see a lot of people who don't pay attention or have not watched the content, look, to be caught up on everything, you need to watch the videos on the Geekdom 101 channel, right? And I'm not saying that to get views, even though I do appreciate it, but coming in here without having some idea of what's going on you're gonna be asking questions. Okay, it is not, oh, they're gonna announce a video game and a manga. No, that is not what they said. They said there's gonna be an announcement for a new video game and not and 2 projects, which means we're going to get 3 major announcements at least, maybe more than that. Now, Jump Festa just ended, okay? What, like yesterday, I think, or the day before? I think it was yesterday. And Jump Festa did not announce Super coming back, the manga, but I did make it clear a few times that that's probably going to get announced in Weekly Shonen Jump when the time comes, hopefully sooner than later, because even though these 2 new projects are likely anime related, I still want that manga to continue. It's been 3 years since Black Frieza, Medios. 3 years.
Yeah, like I can't believe it's been that long. Oh, where did time go? Oh, well, it's time. It's time for new stories.
I think it's been time for new stories. Here comes a new story. I like that part of the song. All right, here's how we're going to get started here, okay? Let's go ahead and get started with the first, I guess, speculation or whatever, or the first, I guess, topic. Let me see here. I'm actually going to have
it's going to be it's going to be a new Daima or a Super movie.
Can I introduce it, please?
Of course.
All right. Hold on. Should I have them? Hold on here. Give me a sec. I'm still typing, by the way, y'all. I'm getting a poll ready. So here's how it's gonna work. I want to gauge people's interest. Hold on. Give me 1 second, y'all, because I want y'all to vote for me. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna have you vote from 4 different categories. All right. I'm gonna have you vote between these 4 categories. I'm getting the poll ready for you guys. So so here's the options you have. So we're gonna start with a new Dragon Ball Daima, Dragon Ball Super movie, right? We're gonna start that right now. So I'm opening up the polls right now. Please vote and vote carefully. This is for a Super or Daima movie. We'll go over both of them. Right now, your options are very interested, indifferent, or not interested. So vote for whichever one you think fits you the best. How do you feel about if the announcement is going to be a new movie? If that's the announcement, how do you feel about it? What do you think about it? I want to know in the comments right there. So, Medios, let's go ahead and get started. When it comes to this, we'll start with, first of all, the Daima movie. Now, the reason as to why I think this would be good news, and this is something that we talked about going all the way back to the end of Daima, is because as of the end of Daima, even the post-credit scene, they are still in the demon realm. We have not yet seen Goku and the rest of the characters from the regular mortal realm return. The last scene we saw in Daima, they were still in the demon realm. Therefore, that plus the fact that the fusion bugs were not used, that tells me that it's very likely. So this is going to be common sense for you guys, but I'm just going to say it. If in Daima they are not kids again, it's okay. Why would they make them kids again if they already resolved that problem? Like, that doesn't make sense. They're not going to be kids again. So to me, I feel like this would be a good thing. A Daima movie. When it comes to a Super movie, the last few stories that are new have been Super movies when it comes to Broly, Superhero, And I did discuss on this channel last year this behind the scenes rumor of there being a new movie after Daima. We talked about this a year ago here on the channel because that was talked about. However, talk about the movie kind of died down. I had not heard anything from any source about it. So I assumed that maybe the project was either dead or on hold, but it may not be depending on the event. So what do you think?
Well, when it comes to a Daima movie, that sounds really interesting. There's more loose ends from Daima than just the fusion bugs and obviously the fact that it ends on a cliffhanger, even if it's a gag, even though they haven't left the demon realm left. Well, there's locations that are mentioned during the series that they never go to.
Like what?
There's locations in the first demon realm that they mention that they don't go to. I forget what they're called. It's been a while since I watched Daima. I'm sorry. No, but okay. I remember being like, oh, that sounds interesting. One of my complaints during Daima was they didn't seem to be doing a very thorough tour of the demon realms as they went through them. So if they did a movie, it might be an opportunity for them to see more places now that they're not fugitives. They're actually like able to travel from town to town and be allowed to be there. So I thought maybe, we could see more of the infrastructure of the demon realm. We could see what people are like. We could see how they live there. See how the world's changing now that Majin Ku is in charge.
Yeah, well,
King Ku.
Yeah. And now here's the question, though. Here's because I've seen people. So there have been when it comes to the quote unquote leaks. All right, and I'm using the word in quotations because, as I said earlier at the beginning of the stream, I'm not going to go into what I know and what I don't know because I'm choosing not to. We're going to see next month. However, I will admit to people that I don't have every detail. There's a lot of stuff that is still being speculated. And I saw somebody, I don't remember the guy's name, but he was basically saying that it would be awesome if the villain, because remember at the end of Daima, Goma and his people get locked up, presumably, or arrested or whatever. And I saw somebody say, "Oh, they're gonna reboot Janemba, like what they did with Broly. They're gonna take the character and like remake him for Daima." And that was actually one of those fake designs that came out a year ago. So I feel like that is I love Janemba. I love Janemba, and it would be cool if they used the fusion bugs to beat Janemba. That would actually be kind of a cool little like Easter egg. I would like to see it, but I don't know if they're going to do that. What other villain could they possibly have? I mean, you could have somebody who's tied into Moro. You could have somebody tied into Abra. What do you think?
You could have somebody who's tied into Dabra as well. Maybe Abra you could even pull from Heroes. Oh yeah, of course. Abra, related. Right. I forgot his name was Abra. That's funny. But yeah.
But I just said it.
I know. I just forgot that his dad's name was Abra. I forgot about the pun. But yeah. That whole family could be really cool. They had that gag at the end where they found all the extra third eyes. It would be very Goku to let on and be like, "Wow, you put those eyes in and they make you super powerful. Those are really powerful. You better not let anyone have those." And they're like, "Oh, we won't." And then everything goes to pot at the end of the movie and they have to fuse. That could be fun.
I mean, the fusion bugs was like a big thing. I got shit for it, but the fusion bugs was a big thing because that was literally introduced and foreshadowed in Dragon Ball Daima episode 4, and it wasn't used at all. And it's very, very, very sloppy writing for them to have talked this much about something that people know the fans would like to see because they love fusions and not go through with it. That's just, to me, that was weird, you know?
Yeah, and that does feel like the kind of fan servicey thing they would do in a movie. So, yeah, I'm on board. And it could be an opportunity for us to get a fusion that we haven't seen before that isn't just Gogeta or Vegito again. They could do a fusion of all kinds of characters. I remember when Daima was coming out, there was some like rumblings of, maybe Piccolo and Vegeta will fuse or something like that. I don't know. Could be fun to see what they do. They certainly can just get more fusion bugs. Maybe we could have a whole fusion finale. I don't know.
Right. It's implied in episode 4 that the bugs can fuse more than just 2 people. So it could be a way for them to introduce the triple fusion. Because
I love Dragon Ball fusions.
Right, me too. Let me break this down for people who may or may or well, let me break it down for people who may forget. It's not going to be Gogeta, because if you're looking at the Dragon Ball timeline based on the Toriyama written events, Vegeta does not learn the fusion pose until Dragon Ball Super Broly, and Dragon Ball Super Broly is several years after Daima. So if they're going to fuse Goku and Vegeta, it would have to be either Potara or Fusion Bug, and the Fusion Bug Goku Vegeta version would be totally different than Gogeta or Vegeta. It would be a third option. I, however, am with you. I think it should be another character. It could be Glorio and Goku, Gloku. It could be, like you said, Piccolo, Vegeta. It could be one of the Majins. It's just, who would you have it be if you were, huh?
It could be all 3. I mean, there's more than one fusion bug. Could be Majin Dooku. Could be all kinds of things.
Majin Dooku. I mean, bro, it could be freaking Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo. We haven't got that before. Like, there's just so much potential there.
Now, I mean, that'd be super cool.
Now, I want to clarify something else has been rumored. People are saying, oh, it's going to be a CGI movie. Now, I want to make this clear to everyone. When the rumor about it being a CGI movie is out, I want to clarify this was also said about superhero. CGI movie does not mean that Toei is going to make a movie that looks like Reboot or Toy Story. It's going to have still Dragon Ball flair, and it's going to have the classic art. Like, you know, it'll be 2D, 3D. It'll be like 2D models with some 3D backgrounds and things like that. Like what they did in Superhero, where some of it was in 2D, some of it wasn't. That's how I see a Daima movie going. I think that that's going to, I think that if that's the announcement, I, for one, am excited because, number one, I love watching Dragon Ball in the movie theater. It's an experience to see it in the movie theater. It really is. And number two, it's new content and it's in the demon realm. And the thing that I liked the most about Daima was the demon realm and the Tamagamis. So I would be, if Daima the movie is announced, I'd be okay with it. I would rather season 2 of Daima and just do like another 20 episodes. But if the Daima movie is like the farewell to the demon realm, where they actually have to leave it or something, at least for a while, because they can always go back later, I'd be okay with it. What do you think about everything I just said and then some?
Yeah, I'd be really excited to see a Daima movie, mostly just because I was really in love with Daima as it existed in its first half, especially, where it was almost built like an RPG with, like, you build the party and then you go on like adventures and see the towns and see the people, and it was very character based. And was spending a lot of time on Goku and Glorio and Pansy. Yeah, I really want to see these characters again. I really like them in Daima, and putting them in a movie will give them the opportunity to tell one last final story with these guys that'll hopefully have, like, in the first half, more of that character stuff that I really liked, with the big finale at the end, where everybody gets to have fun fighting. It's Dragon Ball after all.
Well, that's the thing, is at least if we get a movie, we're guaranteed to probably have a very epic story, like an epic final battle, because the movies always have final battles. I want to address this. Vegeta, hold on. Vegeta backstory movies better because more lore. So you're telling me you would rather they do a movie about a character whose backstory you already know of than go into the demon realm, which we barely know anything about? No, brother, come on, wake up. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Vegeta backstory movie. I mean, we've talked about this, but it would just be, and then Vegeta killed that planet. Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
What is the story? What is the story, dude? Like,
because you can't really change his character at all. Like, even in the Solo movie that Star Wars did, where you couldn't do very much with this character because he was still an asshole when it came to Episode 4. There was still stuff to tell about how he calcified into that character. Vegeta, we've seen him as a kid. He's always been that way. He's always been this spoiled little princeling from the very beginning. Who believed he was above everyone, and he landed that way on Earth. There was no reason for him to change.
There's no story to be told at all. Like you just said, there's no story.
And even as a kid,
Okay.
he was stronger than Nappa, so he can't even do a training story where he outstrips his mentors.
Yeah, it's pointless. Trenton says, I want a Yamoshi movie. So do I. Let me tell you, so do I. Let me get the super chats that just came in here. Clapping Cheek says, what if Deborah beat Janemba in a battle to be the king of the demon world? He was never stronger, but only won because of his spit leaving Janemba sealed. I kind of like that idea. And when he was killed, Janemba woke up and nobody knew about it. I kind of like that idea a little bit.
So I did want to talk a little bit about the idea of Janemba being the villain in the movie. One of the coolest things about Fusion Reborn that's really not like the same in any of the other Dragon Ball movies is that Janemba, when they go to hell, it's Janemba's space. Like in every movie, somebody invades Earth. Even in Tree of Might, where they like mess them up, like maybe a little bit in World's Strongest because it's his facility, but like in Fusion Reborn, they're fugitives in a world that's trying to get them. Having Janemba take over the demon realm could be really fun because then you could have like all the locations we've already seen, even though that would kind of disappoint me because I want to see more. But if we could go back to the characters in the first demon realm, Pouncey's family and the army there, and them being put into slavery perhaps by Janemba or his minions. I don't know. You could have a situation where they have to fight their way out of a battle that's not as simple as just big guys standing over there, big power level, real strong.
Yeah, and also I do feel like the design of Janemba, like for the old Z movie, it does have a very like, even though Janemba was like his powers were in the other world, it does feel a lot like something from the demon realm. So if that's the character they're going to reboot, then there you go. What do you call it? Hold on. I lost my headset here. Oh, not my headset, my ear. There we go. Fuck, now I lost my train of thought. I was just gonna say something, I lost my train of thought. So they could also introduce a new villain, but they would only have a few minutes to get the character over because the movie's going to be limited on time. So it won't be like a full explanation, but we'll see. I mean, there's still one of the things that Daima talked about that we never actually got to see, which they could explore in this movie, is we went to Demon World 2, but we did not see any Namekians in their civilizations or any of the Glins. We heard stories, and we saw Neva and Supreme Kai, Navarre or whatever, Navaje, but we didn't see any of the other ones, and that's something else that's potentially important. Hello?
Yes, that would also be really interesting. Someone in the chat earlier on, I apologize, I forgot your name, mentioned that it would be really cool if we could see the restoration of the Glin trees and perhaps a restoration of the old demon realm, like perhaps returning the Namekians to their planet, or just ending the era of the cruel tyrannical rule over the demon realm and restoring it to being a more happy place. That could be interesting at the very least. It would be very different for a Dragon Ball movie, though.
I still think that the idea of a Frieza or a regular villain from the mortal realm, the outside realm, as they call it, from the demon realm, going into the demon realm to get the third eye. I did a whole video on it. The idea of like Frieza getting the third eye and earning that damn near immortality from the third eye, I think that would be a perfect way so that Goku and the others can go back to the demon realm and in the future of Dragon Ball, like Super and whatnot. But the big thing about them doing a Daima movie, if that's what they're going to do, is they can actually explain why Goku does not use Super Saiyan 4 in Super, because that's the big thing. Everyone's like, oh, they never explained it. I explained the best logical reason as to why Goku does not use it in Super, but we could actually see a movie that tells us and that shows us, okay, he lost the power or something happened. I think that could work as well. Plus, even though it's just a rumor right now, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, I think would be great for merchandise perspective. I think the fans want it. That'd be a chance to squeeze that in there. I don't think it's necessary, but I think the fans would appreciate that, especially the Vegeta fans.
I think that a Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta would fit really good in a place like Super Divers. I just feel like if I'm watching a Daima movie and it's heading towards Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, I'm just going to be like, well, we're playing the old hit. Like, I want to see something different. That's why I said
for merchandise purposes. You know what I mean?
Certainly for merchandise purposes. I mean, they could do a thing where just like Vegeta's just bugging Never the whole movie, just like, give me the power, I want to have it. Finally, at the end of the movie, Goku's down and Never gives him the power. That could be fun. I don't know. I just, for the merchandising, it would be very good.
Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. Joshua says near immortality from the third eye does not compare to complete immortality from Super Dragon Balls. Right. That is correct. However, why?
It's pretty good to have it, though.
Yeah, exactly. I would not mind having one of the two. All right. So Bahamut 724 says, I feel like Daima has no rewatch value, unlike ZS. Well, first of all, the fact that you left out original Dragon Ball, which is better than both those shows and better than Daima, is weird to me, but fans. Secondly, I don't think Dragon Ball Super has all that much replay value at all. I really don't. And then I somewhat agree with him though. Daima, I had a fun time watching it. As far as it having replay value though, I sort of agree with him. Like, there's hype moments that you can watch over again, but when it ended, it was just sort of like, is that it? You know what I mean? I don't know. I what do you think?
So, I think that Super has replay value purely because after the Tournament of Power ended, I thought that it was super padded, but I ended up watching it in a binge with somebody who hadn't seen any of Super. And when I watched it just in a row, it didn't feel like at all like as long as it did when it was coming out. I felt like it was really nicely paced and I didn't hate it so much. So maybe rewatching Super might actually be the play for us to reevaluate it. I think that we're coming up on the time when people are going to reevaluate Super, regardless.
Well, we are going to be discussing the rumor of the Super remake coming up on this stream, so stay tuned for that. We are going to be going into that here shortly. Go ahead.
But when it comes to Daima, I think that Daima is a pretty short series. I don't think that you're like going to be rewatching it like now that it's only been like a year since it's come out. But like in a few years, you know, you're sitting down, you're like, hey, I remember Dragon Ball Daima. Like, you could watch that series again and have a really nice time. It's only 20 episodes long. It's really nice. It's compact. Tells a story. It's got nice characters. It's very, very pretty. It's such a pretty anime. So why not? Why not return to it? Maybe it just doesn't have rewatch value now that we're so close to it.
Well, I agree with you, but one thing that I do agree with Bahamut and a lot of people, and I've said this I don't know how many times, modern Dragon Ball really does not compare to Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. It's just like it doesn't compare. Like and it's not just nostalgia. It really isn't. Just the old storytelling, the old style, the old pacing, the old music. It's just, and the storytelling I thought was way more solid in the original series than any of this Renaissance shit. It's just not as good. It's just not as good. Now the question.
Sorry, go.
No, I was going to say the question is Toriyama the writer of this rumored Daima movie or Super movie? I don't know, but what were you going to say?
I don't think that a Daima movie, even if it's written by Toriyama, can be as good as the original Dragon Ball. Because the original Dragon Ball took place over a long period of time. It was constantly moving. The status quo was constantly changing. New characters were being added and removed from the cast at a constant basis. Like, I need you to realize, all right, the entirety of Dragon Ball, from Bulma running into Goku with her car, all the way to him killing Majin Buu, what's that, like 30 years? Like, in the entire time since Dragon Ball has come back, we've covered 7. Like, and in that 7 years, they haven't changed outfits. They've only just changed designs on the children. Like, it's been absolutely frozen. We've been living in a status quo world where only Goku and Vegeta get the shine. Thank God for Dragon Ball Super Superhero adding new characters, and Broly for adding new characters. But
brother, you can disagree
Dragon Ball.
You can disagree.
Dragon Ball was so different.
He says Dragon Ball is hardly peak. Look, I rarely say your opinion is wrong, but your opinion is wrong. All right, just sorry. That's a wrong. There is such thing as a wrong opinion, bro. Don't even start telling me Dragon Ball is fucking not, OG Dragon Ball is not peak. All right.
Do you remember when Tien and Goku did the middle flips into the ring in the 23rd tournament?
That whole fight was amazing. Yeah, I don't know. So, okay, the next super chat here that we have is from Joshua. He says, Zamasu stood out was that he was an outsider. I'm a little confused with the lack of a grammar here, but I think I know what you're talking about. I think he's asking if Zamasu was born from the Glin tree, and I believe that the Glin trees where the original Supreme Kais came from. I don't think they all come from there, though. I think that they might come from the other tree. They didn't actually clarify if, like, there are Supreme Kai still being made in the demon realm. Like, they didn't. They said there's like 2 trees left, right? Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about Zamasu.
I'm sure they left it intentionally vague.
Yeah, or Toriyama forgot. That could also be a possibility. Original Dragon Balls 8 out of 10. I'd say like 9 out of 10, but I understand. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say 10 out of 10.
Yeah, right. No, right. Okay, so I just checked the poll here, and by the way, if you're stopping by, leave a like on the stream. Let's get the stream out to people. We're gonna talk about more stuff. We're gonna talk about a lot of the other rumors next here in just a minute, including Xenoverse 3 and all that. We'll be talking all about that here. But anyways, so the poll was new Dragon Ball Daima Super movie. 53% said very interested. 28% said interested. 12% are indifferent, and 7% is not interested. The thing that's weird is, why would you not want another movie? I feel like the best new stuff has been Broly and Superhero. Like, that's been the most complete new stuff. So I would be happy if they made another movie.
I would be happy if they made a Daima movie. I think it's time to stop making super movies. Well, we haven't talked about super movies. So the reason why I'm saying that they should make another super movie is because the super movies have been a band-aid on a problem that's called Shueisha. It's been waiting for something to happen next. We've had 2 of these movies now. Dragon Ball Super is a super diluted product. Shout out to Mr. Fusion, who's currently doing a dissection on Dragon Ball Super right now. But he was talking about how Dragon Ball Super has no unified product, and how movies are just going to add to that problem. Like, it's going to add confusion. It's going to further break apart the Dragon Ball Super branding. And it's time to do something new with Dragon Ball Super. That's an anime or a manga, not a movie. And if they do a movie, then the manga might retell it when it comes back.
That's another pot. Yeah, something else. I've seen some people comment that super movies happen, not a Daima movie, and I want a new movie, just not a Daima movie. I understand where you're coming from, but I agree with Trenton here. Something is better than nothing. If they announce a Daima movie, I'm not going to complain. So it is what it is. That's how I feel. So Joshua left another super chat and said Zamasu is from Universe 10, while others from Universe 7 locals. Okay, Josh, did you forget that every universe has its own Supreme Kai? Every universe has one, not just Zamasu. Zamasu being from Universe 10 does not make him special, bro. So, I don't understand what you mean. But first of all, you misspelled Daima. But I don't know what you mean by Daima doesn't even make sense. What's this guy talking about? What part of Daima does not make sense to you? Like, is it like a plot hole? What are you referring to? So, and then Daima don't need to be finished. It belongs in the trash. Okay, let me make this clear for you. Let me make this clear for you. I understand a lot of people don't like Dragon Ball Daima, but the reality is it's popular and it got high reviews. You might not like it, but it's popular. If it's popular and they capitalize on it, there you go. All right.
I like Dragon Ball Daima.
Yeah, I like Dragon Ball overall. As long as it's good. I don't care if it's Daima, Super, or whatever. Wisco says, what do you think about a movie talking about the history of Bibbidi and Bobbidi? Also, I think Dragon Ball needs more ruthless aggression, like original Dragon Ball NZ. NZ. Well, I do think Dragon Ball could be more violent. But so when you say talking about the history of Bobbidi and Bibbidi, you would have to, when it comes to making a movie like that, you would have to like tie it into, like, if you're going to go into Bibbidi and Bobbidi, there would have to be a reason to get into Bibbidi and Bobbidi, whether it be another member of that family or something that they did in the past affected the demon realm. There's ways to do it, but you can't just have a 90-minute movie talking about the story of Bibbidi and Bobbidi, because guess what? Nobody would go see it. You got to have Goku and all the popular characters there. So I think it could work if you have a story, if there's a story to tell. What do you think about this idea and the whole ruthless aggression thing, like John Cena said?
The only thing I would like to see Bibbidi in at this time would be if they do a Daima movie, they do a flashback to oh my goodness, what's her name? The mage lady. Arinsu. Yeah, Arinsu okay. Meeting him, perhaps back in the past.
or Marba. Because Marba's the one that created the Majins, not Arinsu.
Right. I wouldn't mind seeing like a background of that. Maybe Bibbidi did something underhanded back in the day that's echoing forwards in time. That could be fun. But as far as just a movie about Bibbidi and creating his clone, according to Toriyama, or fighting with Majin Buu, I don't think there's much of a story there to tell for a 90-minute movie to take place, or even an old school like 50-minute movie. It would just be Bibbidi being evil and then Majin Buu killing planets. I feel like
there has to be a story.
I might just be uncreative though.
Supersonic Speed says Daima was good, but it felt incomplete. I don't know why y'all spell it with the I first, bro, but that's why we're saying there could be a movie. And again, I'm gonna once again reiterate what I said at the beginning of the stream. I'm not going to leak what I know. Yes, I know what they're going to do, but I'm not going to leak it on this stream. We're going to be talking about if they make the rumored announcements, the pros and the cons of it. Now, I think the pros we went over. The only con I can see of a Daima movie, bro, is if it takes people away from a bigger project. But when you think about it, right, it's like what we've been saying, you know, Daima does feel incomplete. So if you're gonna wrap it up with a movie and actually talk about the fusion bugs and get all that stuff that was hinted at in the series out of the way and actually close Daima with a film that will go into Super, I would be all for that. I think it might need it more than Super, which is what you were talking about.
Yeah, a super movie is going to cover stuff that's going to be adapted later into other stuff, be it the manga or otherwise. When it comes to a Daima movie, that's going to be telling us a new story that's going to be all its own.
Right, and I think Daima works as an anime-only product as well. Battle Cry says Tien and the other humans get the third eye idea. He's already got 3 eyes, bro. It'd be a 4th eye for him.
Tien and the other humans get Kaioken, though. That's an idea.
Oh, God. That's people have been talking about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and kill this poll. We're going to move on to our next topic, which is the rumored Dragon Ball SD anime. Now, this is a rumor that I saw pop up recently, and that is there's a 4chan leak. Watch the screen now. Leak, where they claim there's going to be a Dragon Ball SD movie. Now, there's probably people in the chat who have no idea what Dragon Ball SD actually is. Okay, so I'm gonna put up a poll here, and I'm not gonna put it up just yet. I'm gonna first get it ready here. But before we actually like talk about this, we need to explain to the people what Dragon Ball SD actually is. So I'm gonna let you take the floor and explain it, and I will be showing an image from SD, and
Dragon Ball
then
SD.
Yeah, so you can explain to the people, you know, what Dragon Ball SD is. Let me get this image pulled up here. Okay. Okay. All right. So this is a manga panel from Dragon Ball SD. Actually, I believe it's this one that goes first. So
no, it's the blue one that goes first. Then he turns God. Then he turns Super Saiyan.
Okay, so yeah, this is from SD, Blue God Super Saiyan. So can you explain to now? I know what SD is, but nobody ever talks about SD because number one, does not have an English translation. And number two, well, tell the people what Dragon Ball SD is while I get this poll up.
Okay, so Dragon Ball SD started in 2010. It was super deformed, which is a type of anime, well, manga style. And it's like sort of a retelling of the events of, yes, but it's a special kind of chibi-fied version of the events of Dragon Ball, but it's told in simplified text and it's got a lot of gags in it. So it's sort of like more of a gag manga, like as you see here on Namek, Goku transforms into a Super Saiyan Blue and Gohan breaks the fourth wall and says, wait a minute, the color's wrong. No. And then until he gets the right color, and then he says, okay, do that the next couple of times.
Has a lot of fourth wall breaking humor.
Right. It's mostly just a parody. I'm a huge fan of Dragon Ball SD. I think it's a super cute parody series, and it's full of love for Dragon Ball. If you like the That Time I Got Reincarnated as Yamcha, like that kind of meta humor series where it's a love letter to the fans, Dragon Ball SD is very much that. And it came out in an era when not much was coming out from Dragon Ball at the time. 2010, very long time ago.
Yeah, you all gotta remember, this is before Battle of Gods.
Yes, this was during the wilderness years of Dragon Ball. Before even it was after Yosan Goku and his friends return. But the series has changed over time. Originally, it was just a couple of one-shots. Then it became a serialized series. And a lot of it isn't translated. But the stuff that's translated, you can seek out. I'm sure you can find it somewhere. Some of the volumes have been released in English. It's a lot of fun. And it's very popular in Japan, but it's not very well known to the people in the West, unfortunately, because I think that we would really like it because, boy, do we love our Dragon Ball in universe humor here, and it would be really cool to see it get more shine.
It's funny you say that because there's a lot of people in the chat who don't want to see an SD series. A lot of people don't like it. I think what it is. I don't think that Dragon Ball fans, I don't think it's that they actually hate SD. I think I'm speaking for them here, is that I think people are worried they're going to waste their time with something like this when it could be something that's new. This is SD is, of course, a reboot, a comedic abridged reboot of the Dragon Ball manga. And as far as it being a full series, I do not think it would be the best idea. However, you and I talked about this privately, and then we'll make the conversation public. I don't think SD should be its own series. However, if they decide to do some shorts, like, for example, Kizzy HBK here says, keep that and release it on YouTube. If they do little 5-10 minute shorts with SD with like little fun gags and just release it for us, like not... Again, this would be separate from like Daima and Super. like its own little, like, you know, every few months we get like a 5-minute short, I would be all for that.
Do you know there was one way that I always thought would be a really cool way to adapt SD, or at least the greatest hits of SD, would be to we're eventually going to talk about this, the proposed remake of Dragon Ball from the very beginning. You could have like eye catchers at the end where SD gags play in the super chibi-fied style, and the actors get to have fun doing comedic skits based upon the events of the episode, as from Dragon Ball SD. That could be really cool. Just like short form content. An actual, like, if an actual episode of 22 minutes of SD was put in front of me, I feel like it would be too. It wouldn't fit.
It would be the same thing
shorts.
anyways. Right, it would be.
Right.
Yeah, and if you look at the art here, I am a fan of Naho Oishi as an artist. I think she's very talented. And like we talked about earlier, she did write that episode of Bardock manga, and she's worked with Toriyama.
I think the craziest thing about her art as well is just that it's a it's a really pretty manga. Like, you're probably not going to get it from like the few shots that we're going to show. It's pretty hard to get high quality images from Dragon Ball SD these days because a lot of it isn't translated. But it's really well framed. I honestly think that sometimes SD looks better than Toyotaro's Super does, because it's so nicely framed. It always uses the space really effectively. It always feels like a little diorama of the same shots from the anime and from the manga. It's a really, really good looking manga. Really, guys, check it out.
Yeah, if you're in Japan and you've already read Dragon Ball, it's a fun little like new way to read it. To answer the question here from Anime Night, SD stands for Super Deformed. So it's Dragon Ball Super Deformed, which is basically like this chibified version of what Dragon Ball is. I mean, again, if you know the Dragon Ball story, you'll get through it quickly, and there's a lot of parodies and things like that. And so there you go.
Super Deformed and Chibi are two different art styles.
Well, that's why I said sort of chibi. It's not exactly chibi. It's
just
exactly
make it sure.
Chibi. Yeah.
Someone's going to get really mad if you say that it's chibi. I'm just covering bases.
I know. I'm sure someone out there cares. I personally don't. All right. Official Wu Flair says Daima movie because the end credits animation. We talked about the Daima movie earlier in the stream. You may have already missed that. Make sure you rewind the stream. That was the first topic we discussed on here, was the Daima Super movie remake. So we did cover that, the pros and cons of it. Saint Fisuto says, how would you feel about a Frieza race movie? Once again, I want to reiterate something I said earlier. You could do a lot of different types of movies. I would be fine. Listen to me. Listen to what I'm telling you carefully. Danny, I would be perfectly okay with them doing a movie like this. 100%. I'm on your side, Fisuto, and the chat. But let's think about this from a marketing standpoint in Japan. Would they make a Dragon Ball movie without Goku and those characters, Gohan? I really don't think so. I would love a Pride Troopers movie. I would love a Yamoshi movie. I would love a Frieza race movie. I love all that shit because of my deep love, damn near obsession over Dragon Ball. But are they going to make a movie without Goku and Gohan and them in it? I don't know if they're willing to take that risk, man.
I think as well, Dragon Ball is in a weird like hiatus kind of waiting period where we're waiting for the next big thing. Doing spin-offs is great, but it has to be spun off of a strong base. Doing a Frieza movie when we've got an anime coming out constantly, great. I'd love to see it. Now, when there's nothing coming out, what an odd choice. It doesn't really push forward the Dragon Ball brand much at all. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to make that kind of movie right now. But later, yeah, I want to hear it.
Brother,
maybe they can finally get named.
I know, right? Right, finally. I've and right here, this comment I want to highlight. He says, I would love a hit movie. That's what I'm saying. I have talked about this now for a very, very long time. I would love if they did something like Star Wars, where the Dragon Ball multiverse is we're getting all kinds of different stuff. We're getting like anime, movies, manga, and video games, and each of the 4 mediums, right, could actually split around the Dragon Ball story. Meaning, here's what I mean by that. Let's say you have Super running, then you've got the manga of Super, for example. Then you've got a movie about Jiren and the Pride Troopers, right? Then you've got a movie with Brienne, whatever. Like, I would love it if they did something like what Marvel and like what Star Wars does, which is you're telling stories in different universes, in different time periods, with different characters. I would be 100% for that. But I just don't know if Toei and Shueisha are gonna risk not having Goku in it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing that y'all gotta understand. It's marketing as well.
Yes. We had Sherera 1098 bring up that they made Bardock father of Goku in History of Trunks, which barely feature Goku at all, only for a split second in both of those movies.
Yes,
but those again were spin-offs. But also the anime was.
But those are not movies. Those are not movies.
Right.
Those are not movies.
They're TV specials. They're TV specials.
Thank you.
There you go. You okay? We're good. We're friends.
I'm all right. I was about to. I was about to pile drive you, but
I know. He was about to come at me with a knife. But yeah.
How could you possibly say movie, bro?
I'm sorry.
On this channel. Plus,
I know. I'm so ashamed.
The thing about Dragon Ball Z that people got to remember, right, is that, and this is kind of cool. Original Dragon Ball, Goku was all over the place. When you get to Z, though, the Z portion of the story, Toriyama kept trying to find ways of writing Goku out. Killed him in the first arc. He's on his way to Namek in the second arc, then takes him out, brings him back in again. And then in the Cell Saga, he has the heart virus. Then he's training with Gohan. Buu arc, he's dead again. Toriyama did that to get to flesh out other characters, and that's fine. I don't know if they're going to do that nowadays. I think they should, like what Superhero did, but I don't know if they're going to do that, man. I don't know if Toei and Shueisha have even Capsule Corp Tokyo have the balls to do that.
I don't know if they do. They certainly need to have the series be on a more level footing before they're ready to do that kind of thing. Like, you need to have a base to spin off from it, you know? So we're probably going to get something that's going to be Dragon Ball's new status quo going forward in the future. If what's coming up as a movie, indeed, I don't think that'll be the time. It'll be some kind of continuation of something that's already existing, or it'll be the launching pad for something else. I can't imagine that they're going to be building up for a Frieza race anime in the future. So that's probably not the one that we're going to get next.
Yeah, not yet. Like you said, that's not priority. But I'm just letting everybody know, like, and you probably would agree with me on this. I would say I'm letting everybody know that I am me, like Danny. I'm 100% down for stories in the Dragon Ball multiverse that aren't about Goku. I'm very down for that. But we're talking about like how realistic is it? You know, that's kind of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then Guilherme Fernandez says, chances about going forward after end of Z. So Toriyama said that Superheroes, like, I think he said it was the last story before the end of Z. So unless they manage to squeeze something in there, which they could still technically do if Toyotaro wants to do it, then logic would tell you that whatever's next would be after end of Z. But you have to remember, guys, the Majin Buu saga, the entire Buu arc was 3 days. It was 92 episodes in Dragon Ball Z. 3 days in universe. You could easily tell an entire story arc that takes place over the course of a couple of days, and you wouldn't be pushing it. But I, for one, I've said it a gazillion times, do want them to go past the end of Z.
Yes. And it would be cool to see them.
This has to be a troll question. How about special with Piccolo getting his license? All right, bro. Go ahead. You were saying
the driving movie. The driving episode was already so good. It's time for the driving movie.
Let's do that.
It's time for the Camp Krusty movie.
Let's bring in Nakatsuru and Shida to animate the driving movie.
And animated exactly like Initial D.
Yes, I was thinking that. I was thinking Initial D too.
But yeah, I don't know what's going forward. I just hope that we can have a really strong base going forward with Dragon Ball. A really nice status quo to go into, because this waiting sucks. As a Dragon Ball fan, I want to see something new now. It's time.
I agree with Bowser Breaker here. I think that could work. I think that could work fine. I think that could work okay. All right, Robert Wolf. Go ahead.
I actually hope that they do Black Frieza after End of Z, just so that people can die. And it can be a lot more destructive. Because the status quo at the 26th martial arts tournament, 28th Tenkaichi Budokai was very peaceful. I want to see the Black Frieza arc go places. But anyway, go ahead.
By the way, I just saw your message earlier. Is everything better now?
Yeah, no, I fixed it. I had to refresh, remember, at the beginning of the stream, and I made it work.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay, gotcha. Robert Wolf says, how BS is the Super Remake leak? You're the only person I trust with Dragon Ball news. Thank you. Like I said earlier, I knew I was going to repeat myself at the beginning of the stream. I'm not going to confirm or deny leaks. We're talking about pros and cons of that, and that topic is coming up, so stay tuned. We are going to talk about that here. Let me close out the SD topic here. Okay, so right now I looked at the poll, and of course, no surprise, 20% of people voted very hyped. 18% said hyped, 34% said indifferent, and 27% said not interested. I agree with indifferent. I think, once again, if they do an SD like YouTube web series or some fun little shorts for the Dragon Ball official website, just as extra content, you could even throw them on one of the Blu-rays. Like if they put out Daima, put it on one of the Blu-rays or one of the movies or whatever. That would be great. That would be awesome, actually. I want more Dragon Ball to try things like that, to try new things. Give us something new. You don't have to copy Marvel and Star Wars, but look at the blueprint for how they use all their mediums. That would be great. But I don't think SD is I don't think SD would work right now. I think it would piss off. I think people would be more pissed off if they did SD than if they did Daima, than they were with Daima was announced.
I would be pissed off if it was their primary flagship product. Like, if they came out with SD and said, this is the future of Dragon Ball, I'd be like, no, it isn't. Where's the real thing? Come on now. All right, this is a sideshow. It's a spin-off, like the Frieza Race thing. Like, this isn't the flagship product. Even Dragon Ball SD, the manga, isn't the flagship product. All right, it's clearly just a cute little thing on the side. But what's the real thing?
What's the real thing?
Let's hear that.
Yeah, right. I agree. That makes the most sense. What's the real thing? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and close out the poll here. We're gonna go to the next topic. We're running through this real good, bro. I'm in a good mood. So the next topic is, let me start a poll. All right, next topic is a Dragon Ball readaptation. Let me explain so everybody understands. Of OG 42 volume. So what I'm talking about is and we've talked about this before, but I'm going to make it into a topic. If they were to adapt the original 42 volumes of the manga, meaning they redo Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z to make it more like the manga, this time with no filler, just manga to anime, and you've got the current staff, like, the younger animators like Ryo Onishi and Yuya Takahashi doing Dragon Ball from the very beginning. You could have a new voice cast. You could have new sound effects. It's basically like readapting the original manga. A lot of people have been saying that this is a possibility, especially with Chikasi Kubota's animation in Superhero and in Daima, where it was basically the manga just anime form. He's a tremendous artist and can really capture Toriyama's manga style. How would you guys feel if they were to readapt Dragon Ball, redo the original Toriyama vision from 1984 to 1995? And because not every, but a lot of big animes get like readaptations. Gundam's had a bunch of them. What do you guys feel about that? And I'm going to go ahead and put the poll up now. Again, this is let me say one last thing. I think this is going to happen no matter what. I think we're going to get that someday. I'm not saying it's going to be January. The poll, though, is January. Is this going to be the announcement? And if it is, let me know how you feel about it. Go ahead and vote right now. All right. Meteos, readaptation of Dragon Ball, the original 42 volumes from Pilaf to Oob, Bulma to Pan. Your thoughts?
It's the best possible thing that Dragon Ball can do going forward. If they were to do this, yes, genuinely, because I think it would give everybody the opportunity to recenter Dragon Ball, because this is just something that I personally feel. Dragon Ball Kai created this fixation on the Z portion, the Saiyan taboo
like that.
portion.
I hate that. I hate that because you want to know something? Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z are one show. You can sit there and fight, not you, Mios, but them. You can sit there and fight with me all you want to. Dragon Ball Z is one story. It's not Dragon Ball. Oh, and there's Dragon Ball Z. No, it's one story.
Right. But like that's the point, is that Kai made it seem like the story that's worth adapting is the Z part. And if they made a big mistake there, because in the English community, because Z was already super popular. Yes, absolutely. But Z was already super popular in the English fan base, but in Japan, it's Dragon Ball. It's all Dragon Ball. They loved it from the beginning to the end. It was super popular all the way through. But Kai was created this division in all the fandoms around that portion being the special portion, when the stuff before is like as good or better. I think it's better.
Yeah, and I want to address this comment. Z fanboys hate OG Dragon Ball. Look, I'm just gonna say this, man. This is all I'm gonna say about this. If you're somebody who is a Dragon Ball fan and you hate original Dragon Ball and you only like Z, I don't think you're a Dragon Ball fan. Sorry. Just keeping it real.
I don't know. Okay, for all my life, I've heard people say, OG Dragon Ball is not as good as Z. Z is more serious. OG
What's
Dragon Ball. Someone said you were cute higher up, and I was just messing with the chat. Get rid of that. That didn't happen. No one saw that.
Sorry about that.
But yeah, the OG Dragon Ball stuff was more comedic, more adventure series. Oh, I love Toribot.
Yes, and it's him with he's got the cape and he's got the tracksuit, the infamous green tracksuit.
Man, I miss Toriyama.
I have him right here on my desk to inspire me to work harder. This man worked 11 years straight with 11 years straight with no vacation. Actually, more than that. 15 years with one vacation. That should tell you something. Go ahead. Sorry. I just wanted to put him over.
So, Velocity Aimer 8204 said, OG Dragon Ball is not bad, just kiddish. This idea that OG Dragon Ball is kiddish. The Hunt for the Dragon Balls arc is right. The Hunt for the Dragon Balls arc, the very first stuff, is more of a gag manga. Toriyama hadn't figured it out. By the time of the 21st tournament, this is a deeply serious show. Like, obviously, there's gags. Actually, Dragon Ball is funny from beginning to end.
The 22nd tournament's when things really start to become like what Z was.
But in the Red Ribbon arc, we've got criminals oppressing towns. We've got villains who are very believable, real-world mafioso kind of villains. And then the 22nd tournament, like Tien's breaking Yamcha's leg, and we're not in Gag Town anymore.
Is this your girlfriend right here saying this?
I hope so.
Okay.
But yeah, OG Dragon Ball is a series that obviously there's some early installment weirdness if you're looking for a consistent tone all the way through. Toriyama wanted to do one thing and then he went in a different direction. Right. But it's not like it's Gag Town and then the Saiyan arc happens and all of a sudden the series just radically shifts. It doesn't. If you want to see the full story of Dragon Ball, it's one arc from beginning to end. And it's continually changing. It's continually changing tone. Some parts of it are more gag heavy. Some parts of it are more serious. Some parts of it are as serious as a heart attack. You just need to go on the story and go on the adventure, because you're not going to get Dragon Ball as a story. You're not going to get the vibe unless you watch all of it from beginning to end. Because when you watch,
you're missing half the story and half the story arc. You really are.
Right. But more importantly, when you're seeing scenes like Goku turning into a Super Saiyan, right? When you've watched Z, you've seen Goku be kind of a goof, and then he dies, and then he's very serious with the Saiyans, and then he's on the ship, and then he's very serious with the Ginyus, and then he's very serious with Frieza, and then he transforms. The thing about Super Saiyan Goku is that you have all this lived experience from this huge part of the series, a third of the series, where he's just goofy and fun, and he's everyone's friend, and he's just the cutest, naive little kid. And look at what's happened to him. Look at this journey that he's gone on that has changed him so fundamentally. That experience where you connect the little boy living in the wilderness to the guy avenging his friends and his race on Namek, you're just not going to get that if you watch from the Saiyan arc.
You're going to view Yamcha and Tien as jobbers. Look, the bottom line is this. All right, look, I'm going to bottom line this right now. The story of Dragon Ball is the original intended story of Dragon Ball from Toriyama, right, is Pilaf to Buu. It's not Raditz to Buu. It's Pilaf to Buu. End of story. No, you can't argue that. You know, and I'm going to say this right now too. If you think that Dragon Ball is a comedic, kiddish prequel, you just expose yourself. You've never watched Dragon Ball, right? And I want to address this comment right here from Adam Escobar. I mean, you can't tell a person they're not a fan. That's like your opinion. Some people just ain't dick riding is what I think he's trying to write. Okay, number one, I can tell people they're not fans if you say, oh, well, I like Dragon Ball, but I don't like Dragon Ball. Then you're not a fan. It's stupid. All right, number one. Number two, why does dick riding have anything to do with anything? Like, I don't know why people on the internet, no offense, Adam, but this is the way you're behaving, are so black and white when it comes to any opinion. Oh, well, you don't like it, so you hate it. You're a hater. Oh, well, you like it, so you're a dick rider. How about you just like it? Why is it that anytime somebody likes anything, they're dick riding? Like, come on, man, y'all got to grow up a little bit. Just being real,
yeah.
Grow up a little bit.
We've created a social punishment for being enthusiastic in any respect.
I know, or being critical. The minute when Super was coming out, the minute I would criticize Super, oh, Toyotaro, Geekdom hates Toyotaro. But the minute I would praise it, Geekdom's a fanboy. Like, but that's every content creator. It wasn't just me. I'm like, dude, like, can you fucking grow the fuck up? Can we have some nuance here? I'm 41 years old, bro. I started my channel when I was 30, right? And I'm too old for this shit, man. I'm too old for it, okay? Kiryu says, OGDB got me into Dragon Ball and never understood the hate. And then JD says, with the uncertainty on if Toriyama left notes on future Daima stories post-Super, Ioku and Toyo should focus on setting up more DB online stuff and incorporating time patrol stuff, multiverse stuff. I agree, but I don't agree entirely, right? I agree because, yes, they should. I would be fine with them bringing in some of those things. However, it seems like with Daima, a lot of the stuff that was lore from Heroes from the Demon Realm has been wiped away. Heroes is over. Now we're living in the world of Daima, where the Demon Realm is what Toriyama says it is now. So a lot of that stuff I feel like is now obsolete. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I haven't got much to say about it. I just when it comes to Toriyama's notes and that kind of stuff, like the idea of what was Toriyama's vision for the future, this is probably going to be a polarizing thing for me to say, but Dragon Ball is going to move forward without Toriyama eventually. It's going to. Dragon Ball is too popular, and the people at the helm are people who love Dragon Ball, who were personally acquainted with Toriyama, worked with Toriyama. It's in safe hands. Our future with Dragon Ball, at least it's with people who we can hope are safe hands.
Yeah.
It's the best chance we got. We don't have anybody who's like scary at the helm of Dragon Ball. At the very least, there are people who would be scary.
Yeah, like Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh, yeah.
No, but the thing is, though, also that is, I feel like, yeah, the popularity of the series, and here's something to take note of: Akio has never, since the passing of Toriyama, said that there are notes, but he also hasn't said that there are not notes. Akio has not brought up any other Toriyama projects that he may have been working on prior to his passing. Now, if you're sitting here watching this show and you're like, well, why would that be? Because he may have to get approval from Shueisha and everybody else before he can actually reveal what they're going to do next. Because if Akio just came out and said, oh, we have notes for a new movie before the movie's actually like begun production, plans could change, because that happened in 2019. Let's not forget. So I think Akio now is being a lot more careful with Capsule Corp Tokyo. But I will say this that I find funny. I am going to say this, and it's a little bit tooting my own horn, but it's really not if you've been following the story. I said 2 years ago in a video I made, which you can watch right now, called Where is Dragon Ball Super? Why Daima? And in that video, I explained to the whole world, I did, no other YouTuber talked about this but me. I said that Akio wanted Super to come back in 2019, but Shueisha said no, and that's what eventually led to this Daima project coming about, right? Wouldn't it be something now that Capsule Corp is actually a thing? If now we get more Super, doesn't that 100% confirm the story that I broke here, where Akio's the one that wanted Super, Shueisha said no, and if Super does return, which we'll talk about next, but bam, now that Akio's in, now that Capsule Corp Tokyo's in charge of anime and games, we get it. That's it right there. Like, Akio should have been the guy in charge forever ago. By the way, make sure you leave a like. Okay, wait, time out. Why was that their decision? Go to Geekdom 101. Where is Dragon Ball Super? Why Dragon Ball Daima? And you will find out why it was their decision. The video's there for a reason, my friend. Medios, were you going to say something?
No, I wasn't. I'm just watching on and agreeing.
Yeah, we're just fucking around. Sway Shadow Man says, why I hate Kai, because they skip OG. Well, remember, Sway, Kai was a 20th anniversary of Z, but I do agree with you. I wish that they did that. Kai was the entire manga adapted. This is why I think that if they were to reboot Dragon Ball, remake it from Pilaf to Buu with modern animators, I think not only, I'm just going to come out and say this. I'm not saying that that's the announcement in January, but I'm very confident that this is going to happen someday. It might be in 10 years. It might be in 20 years. I am very, very confident that we're going to get a complete Dragon Ball reboot at some point. I'm not saying it'll be January, but it's inevitable, because Sailor Moon got one, like Gundam gets some, One Piece is getting one. I think eventually that'll go.
Yeah, when it comes to Kai, I actually really like Kai as a product. For of all things, the English dub. The English dub of Kai was really what's the word? They redeemed themselves for the dub in their first go around, because they were brand new at the time. But when it comes to Kai, the thing that I really don't like was that it split the fandom on Z versus OG Dragon Ball, in a way that it didn't need to at all. If they do a remake from the very beginning, it'll unify us once again around one Dragon Ball. There's one Dragon Ball. There's no OG Dragon Ball. It's one Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball. That's it. Dragon Ball. By the way, I just said it. Where is Dragon Ball Super? Why Dragon Ball Daima? You'll get the answer in the video. The answer is a little bit complex, but not that complex once you see it. But yeah, and I agree with you, Medios, but there's also one other thing that I want to throw in there. There were a lot of kids, and I've talked to some of you guys. Some of you guys in the chat right now fit with what I'm about to tell you. There were kids that grew up with Kai on Nicktoons. And remember what Nicktoons did. And maybe you don't know this, you're in Australia, but they showed Kai. Then they started GT before the Boo Saga of Kai aired. So some of the kids that were watching Kai in the early 2010s, right? They saw from Raditz to Cell, and then the entire Boo Saga was skipped, and they watched GT, and there's events and stuff referencing GT that you don't even know about because it was in the Boo Saga. Yeah, and that was something that a lot of kids got confused about.
Well,
so that's why, Danny, I do think remaking it all would be.
I'm glad that that's the only time the airing of Dragon Ball in the West has messed up some children in their impression of Dragon Ball. If it ever happened again at any other time, that would have been terrible.
Or if it ever happened before.
Yeah.
It would be terrible if kids in America thought that Goku was the hope of the universe. It would be horrible if they thought that Super Saiyan came from a need, not a desire. But thankfully we have a good dub, right?
And if 16 loved life and he gave everything to save it and he was just an android and he let him die. No, I won't watch it anymore. I feel it's slipping.
Oh.
I'm sorry. That speech is so bad.
It's so bad.
If you like the dub, welcome to the stream. I'm sorry.
Well, too bad. Thank you, Zenix. All right. And then Hibbles says, "What's up, Geekdom? Love the hat. It's not a trucker hat, but it's a nice hat. Thank you so much. This is the last time I'll be wearing this on stream because Christmas is in a couple days. Do you think there are any stories left to tell in the time skips of OG Dragon Ball? If so, would a movie be worth it? Which time skip would be the best?" So I think what he's saying is, could they?
You would want to tell a training movie between Baba and the 22nd tournament.
There, you could do that. You could do the 5 years between OG Dragon Ball and Z. You could do a 7 years in between the Cell Saga and Boo Saga. There is room for that.
Don't touch the 5 years. I think the 5 years, it's really important for all the characters that they've had time apart. I think for it was pretty important for End of Z though. So,
well, I'll be honest with you about this. I'm gonna slightly disagree with you. I think you make a good point in that I like that the characters split apart. But I would really like it if they did do a story that was like Dead Zone, sort of, where it's like in between Dragon Ball and Z, and they brought back the Maeda style, and it looked like it did back in the day. I would adore that. No Super Saiyan, just Goku with the Nyoibo, which I'm going to pull out here in just a minute. I'm going to play with my stick. I got the magic stick. No, I can lick once. I can lick twice. I've got the baddest bitch. Remember that song?
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember that song?
Yeah. So I do think that there's, you can explore that. I don't think they will, though. I don't think they're going to do that. But you can. What would you do in a training movie between Baba and 22nd?
Goku traveled the world. It'd be cool to see him seeing other parts of the Dragon Ball world during that era where he's.
Oh wait, you said that already. Never mind.
Yeah, I know. It was a joke. I got that before you.
I didn't even know that you said it when I said it.
But yeah, that's the time skip that I would think of. 1 second.
Yamado Noibo. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, bro. Fuck yeah. I got the magic stick.
I'm glad I could come back to this.
Yeah, bro. Here's the way I see it, bro. This is me alone, and this is me when your mom walks in. Oh! Anyways, I'm going to be using that joke.
Why does it open up like a lightsaber, bro?
Bro, this is basically the Darth Maul lightsaber, except they recolored it all red. That's all it is. The same shit. The same toy. But the toy does say Nyoibo. And I cannot remember them ever calling it the Nyoibo in America.
Yeah. Well,
I do want to.
They should have.
Go ahead.
They should
Thank
have.
you for the compliment on the Knuckles shirt. I do like it. Let me okay. Yeah, I agree with this, but somebody wrote something here. I wanted to address here. Hold on. We do have another super chat we're going to talk to here in just, and then we're going to talk about the super remake in just a moment. Give me one. Okay. He says Funimation dub haters interesting. So let me make this clear to a lot of people. I want you to understand this. The Funimation dub is hated by a lot of people worldwide and by a lot of hardcore fans. And it's not just random hate. The Funimation dub takes liberties with Toriyama and Koyama's story. They make changes. They change characters and character motivations. They change lines. They change backstories. And it's disrespectful to Toriyama and Koyama. So if you disconnect from nostalgia, you would understand that the Funimation dub is really bad. Now, again, if you want to be like this guy who says that funny dub with Bruce Faulconer is peak DBZ, it's really not. Nobody outside of America agrees with you. Now, if you're one of those people that's like, America's all that matters, well, then you can get fucked, honestly.
Don't you know that one American fan is worth 10 Japanese fans?
Nobody's going to get that joke, bro.
I know, I'm sorry. It's a reference. I'm so sorry, everyone. It's an in-joke, everybody. I don't actually think this.
Yeah. It's just people need to understand that, bro. That Funimation dub is extremely disrespectful. Now, I understand liking the Bruce Faulconer music. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm saying that the script is the story, or is the issue. Okay, so Lazy Rococo says, what about the world between realms? We saw that millions of realms existed. It would be cool if they could visit the realms with distinct laws and physics. I think what he's talking about is Sir Warp and all those little portals. I presume that those portals take you to different sections of the multiverse, but it's still just 12 universes. But I could be wrong on that. There's a lot of things that they could do. A lot of things they could do when it comes to other realms. What do you think?
I think that it would be really cool to see any stories that are outside our current purview of the Dragon Ball universe. It would be super cool if we could see those kinds of things. I don't have anything particular in mind. My aspirations for the future of Dragon Ball are much more closer to Earth. Things like Sadala, Black Frieza. Those are the things I want to see right away. I'm not really thinking about other things. But if they were to tell a story about a place that we haven't seen, about characters that have been mentioned that we haven't gotten to, like Zalama or Yamoshi, or the guy who invented the universe, what was his name? In Daima. Rimus, that's the one. If we see movies about those guys, or if those characters reappear, or if there are actions echo forward into the period of Dragon Ball that we currently live in, cool. I'd love to see that kind of thing. But my greatest hopes for our future are Sadala and Black Frieza, genuinely.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I agree with him too in that there's a lot they could explore. The main thing is, like, when I remember when Moro was coming out, I was like, why are we back in Universe 7? And then when Granola came out, I'm like, can we like go somewhere else? And it just Universe 7's a big place, but I agree that there's so much potential for them to go to other places, and they haven't. And it's very annoying. I don't like it at all. So
I remember.
So go ahead.
Sorry. When in Battle of Gods, when Beerus is like, this is actually one of many universes. We're only the 7th universe. There's 13 universes. And I was like, wow, that means the next Dragon Ball movies, the next Dragon Ball stories are going to be set in different universes. And that was 13 years ago.
It's one of the most annoying things about modern Dragon Ball. It really is.
I mean, it's good in that we definitely have like places to go with Dragon Ball. Like, this isn't a thing where we're like, oh, they're milking it. They've got no new stories that they can tell. It's time for Dragon Ball to end. No, it's not. No, it's not. There's so many stories they can tell. They might be telling bad stories right now, but later they can tell some really cool stories that we definitely want to see. Dragon Ball is not a dead property. All right, we have a future going on right here.
Shout outs to Chuck in the chat. It's good to see you, bro. I will tell you though, Heroes is over. Like, it's in Japan, they decommissioned all the machines. Heroes is done. And I talked to somebody about this a few months ago, right? Who is in the know about Heroes, and they told me that he had heard that they were going to do one more Switch Heroes game and that it got canceled. So I think Daima and what Toriyama wrote about the Demon Realm has totally erased the Heroes canon. And I hate using that word because in Heroes, everything is canon. But now it's all about super divers. I would not have gotten rid of Heroes if I were them, but I mean, it's Bandai, bro. Like, you know.
They can get rid of Heroes, but they can always return to that.
Borrow ideas from it too. I agree.
Yeah, and that too. Yeah, the Time Patrol. If they brought that into Super, I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it. Wouldn't hate it at all.
Final arc of Heroes anime had horrible animation. Well,
sure did.
Most of it did. Yeah, to be honest. And then so Trans Fan says Super's thing is the multiverse. They should stick to that. No, it should have been the multiverse. Instead, the majority of Super's in Universe 7. So that's what we're complaining about. And it's not really a complaint. So let me ask you a question. Let's get back to this Dragon Ball readaptation thing. If you were to readapt Dragon Ball, I kind of see where it's all going, right? Like, you know, you would be sticking to the source material. What's going to happen if they actually stick to it so much that the Majin Vegeta Goku fight ends up being those 4 panels that it is in the manga, and all the nostalgia junkies are going to be like, wait a minute, that's it? What happened to the rest of the fight? Because they don't know that in the manga it's a lot shorter. Where's PyCon? Like, oh my God, can you imagine?
Look, if they do that, if they actually do that, which I don't think they'll do. I don't think they have the nuts for it, genuinely.
You think they're going to make the fight longer anyways?
I think they're going to do some of the fight at the very least. Like, they're going to do some extension of it, I think. But I've always been of the opinion that Goku versus Vegeta isn't that interesting of a fight. We've talked about this. But the Majin Vegeta stuff is very well animated. It's very well choreographed. It's got some really hype moments, very memorable moments. But if indeed they do it just like the manga, where it's barely on screen, there's value to that too. Because in the manga, the whole conceit of the fight is that at Super Saiyan 2, they're outputting so much power and they're hitting each other so hard that their bodies simply can't take it. Like, the fight is short because they just batter each other immediately. Like, they kill each other. And then when it cuts back to them, they're covered in blood. Like, they've clearly beaten the crap out of each other in the meantime. Us seeing that fight, extending that fight, was good in the anime because we get to see how they got that. But when we don't see it, like, there's also this aspect of, wow, like a fight of that caliber must be really intense. And indeed, every time we see a fight in the Buak in the manga, when it's 2 people of relative strength going against each other, they batter each other really, really, really quickly. So,
yeah, and I feel like, well, I mean, I've talked to a lot of fans who, like, a lot of people, this is a very common opinion. They say Goku versus Majin Vegeta is my favorite fight. And when I opened up the manga and read it, I was surprised that there was no, there's a compliment for you. I was surprised that the fight was so short. And it is, like, it's just funny because people, and I've seen people say, yo, Toriyama was hitting with that Goku versus Majin Vegeta fight. I'm like, you've never read the manga, have you? You don't know. Toriyama didn't even show us that fight. That is an example, though, and I will go to my grave with this. A lot of people think that because Jordan and I respect Toriyama so much that we always go with the manga ahead of the anime. And I actually do not. I think that some of the ideas that the anime did to extend the fights, like Cell's fight, Goku versus Cell, Majin Vegeta versus Goku, I think it's actually better in the anime. I'm not afraid to say, like, hey, there are things that the anime did better in the manga. I mean, I'm not afraid to say it. It's not disrespectful towards Toriyama. On the contrary, I think it's respectful for Koyama and the work they did. But there's also a lot of bad filler as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, everybody calls attention to the Super Saiyan 2 Goku versus Majin Buu on the Kaioshin world. Everyone brings that one up
logically, but it's awesome.
Logically, it makes no sense. Like, Buu should just immediately beat the crap out of him, like he did with Vegeta. But he doesn't, and it looks really pretty. And I guess you could argue maybe Buu is just not trying, even though before he showed that he's literally unable to not try when he destroyed the planet. So it's really pretty. It's so pretty. It's such a pretty fight. Maybe we can just pretend so that we can watch the fight again.
Yeah, that's one where the anime gets the dub. Ray Jean Stooley says Mystic Gohan versus Buu was like 1 episode long. Yeah, it was around that length. But what's funny is the fact that you called it Mystic Gohan. I haven't seen somebody call it that in about 9 years, bro. So that's pretty cool that he remembered Mystic Gohan, bro.
The battles over how Mystic Gohan was a terrible name that made no sense, and people who got so angry about the idea of a Mystic Gohan back then. Oh, the old fandom.
Yes, indeed. Accelerator said, I would love to see for the Black Frieza arc to be about Frieza somehow going to Universe 6 to go after Sadala to eradicate the Saiyans there, giving the perfect reason for Goku and Vegeta to go there to assist. Yeah, but why? Well, what would be the motivation for him doing that? If the Universe 6 Saiyans aren't even in, they don't even affect him.
I can't see Frieza caring that much. The only reason he killed the Saiyans in this universe was because they could possibly attack him. But like, it's not like he's angry, he's racist because he's an asshole. I don't think that Frieza is just sitting back going, man, I hate monkeys. Like he's not, this idea that we've invented that Frieza just really, really hates Saiyans specifically. He goes after them in the tournament because they remind him of Goku, right? But I don't think that Frieza's just sitting up at night thinking Saiyans exist. Like, you're thinking of Raichi. It's not. It's like Raichi would do that, but
right.
Black Frieza. I think if somebody was like, "Hey, maybe we should go to Universe 6 and kill the Saiyans," he's like, "Why? Why would I ever do that?" I feel like he would be nonplussed by the idea.
Yes, I agree. Mecha J says, when did it change from Mystic to Ultimate? Never. Mystic Gohan always was, is, and always will be a fan name for Ultimate Gohan. Mystic Gohan's what they called him back in the 90s. I don't know who came up with it, the people from the fan sub era, but it was never Mystic Gohan. And then Saint Fasuto says, this randomly came to me. I think Toriyama came up with SLs to explain Goku Jr. because he's like 99% human. I don't know. Toriyama is not coming up with lore to explain GT. I don't know that.
I would be absolutely gobsmacked if Toriyama even remembered that Goku Jr. existed.
Me too. I highly doubt he doesn't remember his own shit, much less shit that he didn't do.
Right.
So
yeah.
Robert Wolf says, I'm gonna be real. Frieza trying to overthrow Zeno or someone trying to would be the perfect finale to Super. Yeah, that's one way to do it. I mean, we've talked about that. The thing is about these ideas, bro, it's the same thing like when it comes to just like speculating about the future of Super. We've been talking about Frieza overthrowing Zeno since like 2018. I've been talking about Sadala since 2018. We've been talking about going to other universes since 2018. It's fucking 2025.
We've been talking about going to other universes since 2012. Come on now.
13. You mean 2013?
13, excuse me. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So, but I'm just saying. All right. So let me go ahead and wrap up the poll here. Dragon Ball readaptation of the OG 42 volumes. Very excited, got 44%. Excited is 27. Indifferent is 15. And not interested is 15. I feel like if they do it now, it might not be the right time, but I think down the road it's inevitable. So I just think it's an inevitability. Now let's talk about what people have been asking about all day. There is a rumor that the announcement in January is going to be a remake of Dragon Ball Super. Not a remake of Dragon Ball OG or the original manga, but from Battle of Gods to presumably Tournament of Power. And then after that, they're actually going to do Moro in this new Dragon Ball Super. So that's been the topic, that people have been waiting to talk about, because it's been all over like the interwebs in the past like few days. And once again, I'm going to reiterate what I said earlier. I'm not going to confirm or deny anything involving leaks right now. I want to enjoy my Christmas for once without getting death threats from a bunch of virgins, okay? However, we should talk about whether or not it's a good idea, the pros and cons, because there are pros and there are cons of a Super remake. Initially, Medios, what do you think about a them redoing Super from Battle of Gods forward? What was your initial reaction?
My initial reaction was extremely negative. I refuse to believe it was even a possibility, and I am a person who has I'm a person who has often been the subject of an absolute battering on forums for saying that one day they should do it. I thought that the idea of them as their flagship product returning to Battle of Gods, I thought that was insane. I was not in favor in my initial reaction. My reaction's changed since then, but initially, I hated it.
We have a new poll up now, y'all, so you can vote. DBS anime remake. Very excited, indifferent, and I would hate it. So please vote. I want to know what y'all think, and make sure you leave a like if you're stopping by. So there are pros and cons to this, but I think the biggest con is the question of why. Because Dragon Ball Super is not that old. It started in 2015. There's other shows and stories that could be rebooted, right? But also, if they were to do Battle of Gods once again, this is now the fourth iteration of Battle of Gods. You've got the movie, you've got the original Super anime, you've got the Super manga, and now the Super remake, should that be the announcement. I don't think that we need to see a Super remake and Battle of Gods being told yet again. I don't think that that's something that I would be all that interested in. I think it would make more sense if they just pick up with either a Broly anime adaptation of Dragon Ball Super Broly or with Moro and just go from there and make it seasonal. That way Moro can get 20 episodes. You can even have Moro get 40 episodes and just do Moro Arc Part 1, Moro Arc Part 2. I think that would work. But for them to remake Dragon Ball Super, and yeah, Transfan is right, a remake of a remake, because Battle of Gods. So I don't know if y'all know this, but did you know that the only Battle of God that Akira Toriyama ever worked on was the movie? He wasn't, when the manga was coming out, he was not working with Toyotaro yet. This is before he worked with him. So Toriyama, if you want to talk about canon, and if your idea of canon is what Toriyama worked on, it's the movie, not Super the anime. So that's a con. A pro, however, would be the wonky animation can be fixed. A lot of the bad filler can be gotten rid of. A lot of the crap like Potafu and shit like that can go away. The music could be better from the beginning. And I think so. There are pros and cons to this. But the big thing, y'all, is that I feel like what they're going to end up doing is, should this rumor be true, that's what's going to take us into Moro and Granola. I think when the Super reboot gets to Tournament of Power, it's going to go right into either Broly. Actually, now that I think about it, it probably will be Broly. Like, I have a feeling they're going to adapt it like that, and go from there. So a Kai equivalent for Super? No. Kai is a recut version of Z. This is a remake of Super. Medios, what do you think?
Okay. So if there's one thing that makes Super really, really, really hard to rewatch, it's that it looks bad.
Plastic.
It looks really bad. Yamamura's design. Yamamura is a great animator. It's true. Everybody's forgotten this. But back in the day, he was amazing.
He did Goku versus Majin Vegeta. The fight everybody jacks off. That was him.
Yes. However, Dragon Ball Super ain't it. It ain't it. It's not good looking. Every single time someone went off the beaten path, like Takahashi during the Tournament of Power arc, everybody was like, "Wow, Dragon Ball Super looks good now." And then next week it would be Yamamura again, and somebody would stick to his designs. If it was a new version of Dragon Ball Super, that's great. That would immediately make watching the series a lot more palatable. It's tough to watch something as great as Daima, because even if you don't like Daima, that show is beautiful.
Yeah, you can hate Daima all you want to. It objectively looks better than Super.
It looks better than anything Dragon Ball's ever done. It's amazing.
Because it had the 3-year pre-production.
Right. If they're going to redo Super, all right, they already know what they're doing. There's no rush. They're able to just put out the series in good quality when it's ready. Okay? And of course, there's more pros that we're going to get into. But as far as just presenting a better looking version of Dragon Ball Super, like, you got to understand, it was deeply embarrassing for Toei to put out that ugly Dragon Ball Super. That was the reason why they gave that huge Daima pre-production, so that it didn't happen again.
And I was going to say, even Toriyama complained about that. And Toriyama is not somebody who's known to be a complainer. I mean, dude, in case you didn't know, guys, and if you've been following the channel, watching all the videos, you do know this. Remember when Superhero came out? Toriyama was marking the fuck out, because Toriyama wrote the script and he designed the look of like Gohan Beast and Orange Piccolo and the Gammas and all that shit. When he actually saw the finished product for Superhero, he was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing. I can't believe how beautiful this is. Oh, that the fights were great." Toriyama, that's the thing you have to understand. Modern Toriyama didn't work on Dragon Ball like people think he did. He didn't do as much. It wasn't like the original stuff. So for Toriyama to complain, that's rare, because he never complained.
Yes, the bar for Toriyama complaining previous to this was a Dragon Ball Evolution.
That wasn't even Toei. I want to real quick. Wait, this is not the right. Is that the wrong? Okay, he said the finished Super Anime, but that's not the comment I wanted to highlight, even though I appreciate that comment. Here we go. My alarm's going off. I got to fix it here in a minute. He says, if we don't want a full anime adaptation of the Broly movie, there could be 1 or 2 45 minutes to 1 hour recap specials like the anime, like One Punch Man or My Hero Academia do. David, I agree with everything you just said. They should have done that with Super, with Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. I actually really would like it if they did recap specials like that. They never do for Dragon Ball, and it's stupid. I'm going to go turn this alarm off and get some water, so you go ahead and filibuster for like 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
Okay. This actually leads into my next point about the Dragon Ball Super adaptation, if they were to do it, like a Dragon Ball Super remake, is that it would present a definitive Dragon Ball Super product. Like, there's no one place you can go for Super. Like, there's movies, there's manga, there's anime. Like, Superhero the movie is not the complete product. The manga has extra parts to it. It's an extended retelling that adds to it. There's no one place you can go to just get the story from Beerus through to Gas. And now, maybe we have Beerus through to Cell Max, I should say. Now we have the opportunity to do a retelling that has everything in it from the very beginning. And I think that's a really good idea, theoretically. I'm really leery about the idea of going back to Battle of Gods. Like, Battle of Gods specifically is just really, we're back here again. And then Resurrection F again. But You know, it'll give us a one-stop shop that we can say to other fans, here is Dragon Ball Super from the beginning to end. You don't have to stop watching and read the manga. You don't have to stop watching and put on a movie. You don't have to go look for the movie. You don't have to explain anything on Reddit or wherever the place. It's just one product from beginning to end, a unified Dragon Ball Super. And that indeed would be very, very helpful to have. Just in terms of making new fans. Anyway, welcome back.
Hey, well, the thing about them redoing Super also, if that is the announcement, is that now they can also actually fix some of the questions that Daima left behind. Maybe we'll get Super Saiyan 4 Goku against Beerus this time if they do it. Maybe they will address what happened in the Demon Realm. Maybe we'll get an explanation about why the Supreme Kai defused. Now, something I want to make note here that a lot of people don't know about, which I'm going to probably do a whole video on, is that if you look at Toriyama's art for Battle of Gods, this is going all the way back to 2013, he actually drew the Supreme Kai unfused from Kibito. So that tells me that in Toriyama's head, they already unfused. So when they made Daima, that made sense with what Toriyama had in his head. That tells me that if they were to go back and actually remake Super now that Daima's done, we're going to see the Supreme Kai already split. That tells me that's an opportunity to make it all make sense.
The Dragon Ball Super manga actually goes into this. It has the old Kaioshin and Kaioshin looking into the crystal ball and seeing Champa and Vados looking for the Super Dragon Balls in Universe 7. And so they think, oh no, we've got to use the Dragon Balls to stop them. So they go to Namek, but Champa and Vados waylay them and stop them. So while they're there, Kibito Shin is like, hey, while we're here, I'll defuse. And that's how it happens. But it also integrates the latest stuff into Battle of Gods, which is really nice. I'm actually hoping for that to happen a lot in Super, because now that we know where Super's going, we can integrate planning forward.
Because remember, it's like OJ. If I did it, go ahead.
Of course. I'm talking about in the potential aspect, if they in fact do a Dragon Ball Super remake.
This rumor is true.
I'm just engaging with the idea should it take place. All right. Which it shouldn't. This is a really weird idea.
It is a very strange decision. If this is the decision they went with, it's a very strange decision. I would not, Danny would not understand that.
Yeah, we're gonna need Ioku to explain it at Genkai Daimatsuri.
Yeah.
If
that's what they're doing, I hope Akio explains it, because I want to know. All right. Super Saiyan 4 MUI says, imagine animated Roshi UI breaking the internet. Don't think that will break the internet. However, if they remake Super and they goes past Tournament of Power, I will predict right now, ladies and gentlemen, mark my words, I will predict the episode where Vegeta does Ultra Ego will crash Crunchyroll. How much you want to bet?
Oh, no, absolutely. I'm not taking that bet. You're right. I'll bet someone else who's a sucker and we're going to take his money.
Who?
I don't know. Someone's going to bet it. Probably someone from Mr. Fusion's Discord who thinks that Dragon Ball Super after it sucks.
Well,
like that tells from Nuzlocke.
Some of it does suck, but Nimble. First of all, Nimble, I love your profile icon, and I think it's great. Don't do the manga, adapt it as the anime. Please. He's talking about taking the Toro manga and making it into an anime. The Super anime is way better from BOG to TOP arcs. Also, this wastes Masako Nozawa's potential last year's as the voice of the Sun family and the others VA. I agree with him completely. I think I would like Nozawa to voice the Moro arc. I would be very pissed off if the Super remake happens and she's in the middle of voicing fucking, I don't know, Goku Black, and then something happens to her where she can't finish. That would piss me off. That would piss me off.
I just want to insert this now, all right? I don't put a whole lot of stock in the idea of this Dragon Ball Super remake, all right? Like, that would be an insane thing to do, all right? But if they were to do it, we've been hearing for years on the Geekdom 101 channel. Go look at his videos. We've been hearing for years that Shueisha has been the giant stumbling block in the way of getting more Super. So it may be that indeed Shueisha has made some kind of backroom deal with Capsule Corp to get the anime back, but they have to adapt everything over again. And
yeah,
I hope they don't do this. I'm
What if, I'm going to make this, going to your point, what if Akio Iyoku's entire argument was, hey, I want to adapt Moro. And then Shueisha said, well, we still have to do more manga arcs, so the manga's way ahead of the super anime. And then Akio says, well, then let's redo the super anime, retell the story from the beginning again. That'll give Totoro another year or two to tell the next arc. And then bam. That could be what happened. I don't know for sure if that's what happened, because guess what? I'm not in that meeting.
Right. If indeed that was taking place, all right. I get it. And like, it would be 1 to 2 to 3 years max until we get to new material, which is a wait. But
I think it could be done in 2 years.
I think it could be done in 2 years. I don't know if they're going to do it in 2 years.
But is it going to be?
We don't know anything about it.
We don't.
I mean, it might be seasonal.
Honestly, it might not even be real. It might not even be real.
Oh, knock on wood. But like, for real though, like, there are a lot of positives to the idea. There are a lot of positives to the idea of doing a Dragon Ball Super remake. But like, a lot of those positives are also couched in, why don't they remake Dragon Ball from the very beginning and then do Super?
I think that would make the most sense, right? With the quote-unquote new voice cast they would have for the Dragon Ball remake, I think that makes the most sense.
Yes, because here's the thing, everybody, all right? We love Masako Nozawa. God bless Masako Nozawa, all right? Our Goku forever.
And
anyone who says that she's grandma? Yeah, exactly. If you say she's Grandma Goku, I saw someone on Twitter complaining and saying that Super Saiyan Goku, I can't take Super Saiyan Goku seriously because it's a grandma. Have you heard it? Are you stupid? You stupid? But yeah, getting away from all that. Nozawa has to retire eventually. We need to establish new actors at some point.
And with the Daima actors, that could be.
And if anyone says AI, you're banned from this channel.
Bro, okay. There's a comment right now. There's a comment right now in the chat room that I want to address. But the minute I address it, it's going to reveal the truth, and I can't, about what's going to get announced. Like, I really want to answer this question. Like, I really want. No. I'm saying, like, if I could talk, if I felt comfortable talking, I could answer this question. But this made me laugh, bro. This fucking guy. I love you for this.
We need constant music the entire time. It needs to go.
This guy's like when I go see Avengers Doomsday, I'm gonna have the Vegeta Hell's Bells in my headphones when I go to the movie theater, because I have
every time Doom appears on the screen, the Hell's Bells plays.
This comment angers me.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just gonna say this comment angers me because I just don't want to address it. Pisses me off. Go ahead. It's just I hate comments like that, dude. Like, fuck, do I hate comments?
Back to Falconer, something that makes me less upset.
Believe it or not,
I know.
That fucking glory hog.
As an adult, if you come back to Falconer, I've actually watched some clips with Falconer with the dub recently. Like, I've been watching some of it just with friends.
Me too.
And
not with friends, but I've looked at it.
It's so hyperactive. Okay, so in a movie, when music ends, there's like a downward shift, and then it comes back up with more music, right? It's smooth. When you watch the Falconer score, music just stops, and then something completely different in feel and tone will just start playing immediately. Like, there's no fade, there's no change. Like, a music will just stop on a cut, and then it'll start with something else. It's so so hyperactive. Like, this is not a good spot of a score. If they could redo the Falconer score and place it better in Dragon Ball Z, I probably would like the Falconer score a whole lot more. Because these clips, wow! If you watch a comedy clip from Dragon Ball Z when like a funny thing is happening, it's no good. It's no good. A clip plays for 3 minutes, 3 seconds, and then something else plays for like 10 seconds, and something else plays for 15 seconds. Like, it'll cut to Vegeta saying something serious, and then Hell's Bells will play, and then it'll cut to someone being like unimpressed, and it will play like the goofy music. Like, it's not good. It's not good. Even if you like the score, which I do, the live performances on the Geekdom 101 channel, subscribe, were wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Great music.
Yeah. Yes. And the thing is, I'm going to get Scott Morgan on the channel soon by himself. And we're going to be talking about, excuse me. I'm sorry about that. We're going to be talking about the Falconer score, specifically the fact, because he already told me this years ago, that they did not want music to play all the time. That was a Funimation decision. And they were also very rushed. Scott said that if they had more time, to actually produce the music, it would have been even better. So that, if you're a fan of the Falconer score, it could have been even better if they weren't like, so rushed to get that music out. They were, and you know what blows my mind, bro? Everybody loves the fucking Falconer score. All these dub fans love it, and they got paid. And Dragon Ball Z was one of the biggest shows of the entire late 90s, early 2000s. They got paid $11 an hour to make that music, bro. Think about what I just told you. $11 an hour.
Wow, music artists getting shortchanged by the animation industry. I couldn't tell you when that's happened before.
Yes. Well, also, this is actually incorrect. It's not Barry Watson. That was Gen Fukunaga this time. Barry Watson's the one that made all the bad script choices, but it was Gen that wanted music playing at all times. So, let me see here. Okay. David Kelly. Very excited if they not only rehash the animation. I don't think rehash is the word you're looking for, bro. I think you're misusing that word. And by the way, this son of a bitch over here is an English teacher. So if you reuse
I'm on the other side.
No, not on my screen. On my screen, you're right there.
Okay.
If you misuse words, bro, you're going to piss them off. I'm telling you, bro. I've seen this guy get pissed off over the misuse of words more than what the words were actually like about. Like that
was a special instance. All right. I'm a teacher, so I'll teach you how to use it correctly because I'm nice. If you're being an asshole, I will be annoyed.
Right. So David Kelly says, very excited that I only rehashed the animation. I think the word you're looking for is like redo the animation. A rehash is not a positive word, but also cut a lot of the unneeded scenes and dive deeper into Sadala scenes with moral following. Yeah, but bro, like, okay, I think I know what he's talking about. I think he wants more of Sadala in the Super remake. I agree with that, but all that's going to do is make us want the Sadala arc even more. So if they're not planning on going there, I say don't go there. So what I'm saying is I like your idea, but I think it only works if they actually are going to do the Sadala arc. And then
also, sorry, go.
No,
sorry, I wanted to add on to that.
I was going to the next one.
If they were to do this remake of Dragon Ball Super, it would give them an opportunity to make some serious improvements on Dragon Ball Super. It's true, the dub is ass.
I agree with this, by the way. The baseball episode is the best episode of Super.
That's such a fun episode. But if they were to do this remake of Dragon Ball Super, it would give them the opportunity to have a whole bunch of hindsight. Because if we know one thing about Dragon Ball fans, and everybody in this chat who has watched Dragon Ball Super, which I assume is everybody, but you never know.
I'm sure it's almost everybody, yeah.
Right. You've seen Dragon Ball Super. Everybody's an armchair quarterback with Super. They watch the future Trunks arc and go, if I was doing it, I would have done it different. I wouldn't have had it go this way. I hate this ending. I could have done it better. All right, everybody has some kind of take. Now that we have all of this hindsight and we have foreknowledge, we can actually plan stuff out. Like, for instance, we can have Champa show up earlier during the Universe 6 arc. When they're collecting all the people, we can have the Tournament of Power in the future, and we can create some kind of like brick joke, not brick joke, but like we saw the people in Universe 6 getting collected. We could see them being collected for the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 tournament as well, and follow them in that part of their lives. We could spend more time on the characters now that we know where they're going and what they're going to do. We could integrate Ultra Instinct more into the series and have Ultra Instinct be the final goal of Goku. Because it's mentioned a few times, like in the Resurrection F movie, you need to move without thinking. But it's not really integrated in the same way that Super Saiyan was integrated, where it was constantly talked about for a long period of the series. All right? Now, we can actually go deeper into Ultra Instinct and why it's a goal, and why Beerus has it, and how Beerus got it, and how Whis already has it, and how the Angels are different, and how they've always had it. All right? You can talk more about where we're going, like the original Dragon Ball did with the lead up to the 22nd tournament. When Goku was up Karin Tower, he looks into like the future pots and he sees Tien Shinhan. All right? Because they knew where it was going next, and they were able to call forward. In the same way, a Super Remake could do the same thing and make it a more integrated story, a more complete story that isn't being written by the seat of their pants, which Super absolutely was.
Yeah, it
Don't
was.
kid yourself.
And now they can plan things out and everything. So, with respect to you, expert Glaze, why is it getting remake when the animation looks so much better than the rest of the other anime? You kind of expose yourself as not watching. You don't watch a lot of anime, bro. I can already tell. I'm not gonna make fun of you because I also don't watch a lot of anime, but I'm at least in the anime sphere. I'm at least in the anime sphere in the sense that this is objectively false, bro. There's a lot of every major anime looks as good, if not better than Super did. I mean, I'm just sorry.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone ever on the internet who said that Dragon Ball Super looked better than the rest of the series. I think this is the first person I've ever seen who thought that.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Blues Clues says thoughts on Jocko miniseries like Sandland or expanding Broly retelling with a full adaptation, not just DB minus. Moro and Frieza forces history with the GP warrants an anime establishment and DBS. I agree with literally everything you just said. I can't even. There is nothing that you said here that I don't agree with, and that's rare because we're all human beings with independent minds. Well, maybe not some people, but yeah, bro. I like all this. What do you think? You gave a thumbs up, right?
I gave a thumbs up on a Jocko miniseries. Expanding the Broly retelling, I feel like
I'm fine with it, even though it's not necessary.
I'm fine with it, but I kind of want Broly to be a character who's told after the fact, just as a writer. Like, I like the way that they establish him in the Broly movie, where he's kind of a mystery, and oh my god. I'm dead today in the head. What? The green lady, Chilai and Limo.
The one that
get into Broly and yes, lucky man. And Chilai and Limo are able to get into Broly's head and learn a little bit about him and his past, but it's still a big mystery in the movie. We don't see all the stuff that he's describing. We just get his emotional feelings about it. Later on, as Broly opens up as a character, becomes better friends with people, we could call back to Broly's childhood and have flashbacks or stuff like that, rather than actually seeing it in motion, because I don't think day-to-day Broly's life on Vampa was very interesting to watch. I think it'd be cool to see one day in the life of Broly, but as far as an expanded retelling, I don't know how much of that story is actually super interesting, because nothing happens on Vampa. Like, that's the whole point, is that they've been doing nothing except desperately fighting to survive for all these years, and it's broken them.
Maybe they could show them controlling the Great Ape thing. That's about it, right?
Yeah. I mean, we could see that later when he's learning to control that kind of stuff. What I'm talking about is like an expanded retelling where we're seeing more of Broly's life on Vampa, The really interesting stuff about Broly's life was like when he got fitted with the shock collar, but that's way too early for us to bring up during a Broly arc. So, and as far as Paragus's time with Broly, we could have Broly open up more to Chile and Limo, but I don't know. I think that the way it's done in the Broly movie is giving us just enough that we get this guy and we feel for this guy and we truly want him to survive the movie and the events of the arc. And then the fight is really long. I don't know how much more you could expand that. I think it's just about perfect as it is.
Yeah, you'd have to add in stuff. You got to be careful with it. Maybe a remake of DBS Manga Anime Best Moments. I don't understand why you want them to remake just random scenes, bro. Like, just go to YouTube and watch them. I don't get why you would. Doesn't make sense. All right. Shirera 1098, with Crunchyroll now involved, do you think we'll ever get a proper DB home video release instead of the crappy Orange Bricks Blu-ray season sets? No. And I'll tell you why. Number one, Toei refuses to acknowledge the green tint. We've had people in the community reach out to them. They won't clean it up because they don't give a fuck about you as a fan. Number two, Toei refuses to use the broadcast audio. They don't give a fuck. They're never going to use it. Therefore, you'll never get a great home release. Number three, yes, you may get a 1080p version. There's actually one out there now, but it's going to be a shit AI upscale 1080p version that isn't even as good as the shit the fans make. The Toei upscale of Dragon Ball that's out there now is crap compared to the one that I have and that I show on Saturday morning. So when fans do it better than freaking the official companies, bro, shit. And number four, they had their chance. Funimation / Crunchyroll in 2019 had the chance to do a Blu-ray right without heavy DNR with the original broadcast audio because Sabit has it, and they didn't do it. So as much as I would love if they put out a Blu-ray 4K set of Dragon Ball from the very beginning, from Pilaf to Majin Buu, or even GT, throw it in there, 1080p, color corrected with fucking 5-6 audio tracks, right? Including the dubs. For $2,000, I'm dropping $2,000 on it. But they won't do it. Fuck them.
It's also important to remember, everybody, that behind the scenes at these companies, producing remasters and upgrades and audio
they don't
efforts,
care as much as us.
When fans do it, it's a labor of love and they've got all the time in the world. When a company does it, they have to pay everybody for every single second it's been taking place. And the company will always choose its bottom line over the quality of the final product. That's why you only get really outstanding home releases from smaller companies or companies like the Criterion Collection, where the whole brand is this labor of love in the production of the product. Toei is never, ever, ever going to produce something that's as high quality as the upscales that we currently have, or even the upscales that we're going to have in the future, because there will be better ones.
In fact, once Seed of Might drops that color correction, I happen to have the inside scoop that within 2 months, we're going to have a full 1080p upscale of it. So that's going to be orgasmic, bro. Hold on. Where's my poll at, bro? Here it is, bro. All right. So Dragon Ball in 1080p properly upscaled with the color correction. Oh, all right. Anyways.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay.
But yeah, that kind of labor of love, that kind of complete release, all right, they're going to have to charge for that complete release the same as any other DVD. So why not just create any other DVD and still charge the same amount? All right, Toei is never, ever, 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 ever going to give us a release as complete as our ones.
And that's sad. Nimble says, to phrase my question more vague, Big D, first of all, thank you for calling me my old nickname. And again, I do love your profile. Please don't answer.
Big D to you.
That's right. Please, or you can call me, oh, Captain, my Captain. I'll take that. Please don't answer if you cannot. Are Toei's recent actions across social media a sign for fans to look into before this big announcement coming up? I know what you're trying to do, bro. I wasn't born yesterday. And listen, I appreciate the super chat. I did say earlier in the stream that I wasn't going to go into this. Even if you super chat me $200, I would not feel comfortable doing it. So I'm just going to say no comment. Please don't be upset at me for that. I'm just going to say no comment on that. Well, actually, I can make one comment. I'm going to make one comment and then let everybody else figure it out, okay? 2 words, Barbara Streisand. That's all I'm going to say. If you don't know what I'm saying, that's on you.
Don't worry about it.
That should be enough of a clue. All right. GC says, if Moro and Granola arc get animated, what parts do you wish the anime would have done different from the manga? I want the fights to be longer. I would like that. I wish, especially the fight with the Z fighters and the Earthlings against Moro's men and shit. That could be like multiple episodes. I want more of the individual battles. Maybe like throw in Gohan versus Moro as like a bigger deal. I would like more backstory on Moro for certain. I would love that. And then with Granola, I hate the Bardock shit. I know some folks love it, like Jordan. I hate it. So
the Bardock shit could be better if it was given more time. So
yes,
an anime
I
would
agree.
be the time to do it. And more importantly, all right, you can add more nuance to Bardock's character, because I feel like there's not enough time in the manga to really present the full range of Bardock's emotions about all the things that he goes through in the Granola arc. As far as the Moro and Granola arcs are concerned, I would just like there to be more development for the side characters, like Moro's army, and the people who were locked up that he let out, and of course the heaters in the Granola arc would be very nice.
Yeah, and I agree with Pale Gray. It is it's not time, it's the way he acted. Yeah, I don't like what they did with Bardock, but nevertheless, I would look forward to the Granola like targeting stuff and Black Frieza animated. That would be great. I think the scene where Frieza shows up as Black Frieza and fucks everybody's life up at the end of the arc, if they got like Takahashi on that or Shida, that could be like insane. You know, like especially if they do the Black Frieza transformation really badass, like that would be awesome. So I would be
I can't wait to hear the score, the music that they figure out when they bring out Black Frieza. They're going to have something like the old Gold Frieza theme, like the chorus and the chorus coming in.
Let me ask you a question. If the Super remake is true, should Sumitomo compose or should it be somebody else?
I have a very strong love-hate relationship with Sumitomo's score.
Me too.
If you like Sumitomo's score, I understand you. If you hate Sumitomo's score, I understand you. I am being diplomatic when I say this because my opinions are very polarized. Some of the parts are chef's kiss. They're outstanding. All right, Ultimate Battle. Everybody is in love with Ultimate Battle for good reason. And then you've got Omen of Victory. And it's... If Sumitomo is in his bag, if Sumitomo was presenting the stuff that when he's at his best, okay, come on back. If it's going to be a mixed bag, let someone else do it, I think. I think that the previous scores... not the one in GT, that one sucks. But all the other scores that we've had from Kikuchi and Yamamoto, he plagiarized really good music, you guys. They were very consistent as far as quality. They were always very high quality. At least for the most part, Kikuchi could sometimes put out a pretty lame track. But it was always spotted very nicely, and it's always used to great effect in the series.
I don't know how many times I've gone over this, bro, but... it's not going to happen. Don't worry about it. And guys, please do not worry about like Dragon Ball Super or Daima looking like One Punch Man Season 3. It's not going to happen. That's a guarantee. One Punch Man Season 3 is like an anomaly when it comes to modern anime. You know, it really is. Next super chat here from David Kelly. Agreed on all medios for a movie. I think they should do Life in Prison movie introducing Moro and Heaters before the Moro arc with Frieza involved. So I disagree with you to a degree, because if you have a movie that introduces something, they're going to follow it up in the anime. Why would you do that? I don't like that at all. Like, shouldn't the movie be the end? So like, I don't like the idea of them doing this and then saying, oh, the anime will continue the story. Something that y'all need to understand about Dragon Ball movies, right? Dragon Ball movies are basically self-contained stories. Yes, they do branch off the main series, but when you watch a Dragon Ball movie, it's got a beginning, middle, and end. Introduction to a problem, fight, finale. They're all like this, even the Z movies, even the Super movies, right? So like, you're not going to do a thing where you have a movie that begins an arc, even though I'm not totally against the idea. What I think they should do, and I'm hoping they actually do it, is remember when Daima first came out, they had the first 3 episodes in movie theaters. I would like anime to do stuff like that more often. I would like it if they do the entire Moro arc and then the finale of the Moro arc is in a movie. See, that's how you can utilize movies in a more effective way, I think. But that's not something that they seem to be doing, because if they were going to do that, then why the hell did they why the hell would they like have retold Battle of Gods? So it's just, the idea works, but it's just not something that they do, you know?
Right. I wouldn't hate, and I've talked to you about this, I wouldn't hate if when they've got a flagship anime product coming out, if they started doing spin-off movies like they used to during Dragon Ball Z, where they had the 13 movies that came out. I don't know about that, but it might be nice if, yeah, I know, but I don't know about that these days. But, you know, maybe once a year, once every 2 years, you could put out a spin-off movie that's telling a story from a different part of the series, so that everybody can feel represented in Dragon Ball. It could be fun if they did something like that.
Yeah, and I want to, because some people don't even know.
But we need a flagship anime product now, please.
Yes, I agree. Well, by the way, what he means by flagship is a main story, like something.
Yeah,
like
not
Super
Dragon Ball SD.
Yeah, not right, not Dragon Ball SD. I would like it if we, like, I was really happy when I saw Superhero in theaters, dub and sub. I think we need more of that. I think, and now that Demon Slayer's doing so well, like Demon Slayer doing well is great, because that's going to help the entire industry, because now companies are going to be more open to having anime in theaters, and that's a big deal to me. I want to answer this from Fire and Ice. Update your canon video. Big D, love you. First of all, I love you too. Secondly,
a canon video? Is it going to be about the 1812 Overture?
Come on, bro. I know where you're going with it. I'm just going to say this. Once again, I have to hold off on the canon video because of next month. I can't do a canon video now, man, because next month is going to flip people's shit when it comes to canon, and I really think we need to wait and see. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, Blues Clues. As an aside to DB post Superhero, I would love a Hedo and Jocko meeting at Bulma's by chance, with Hedo ending up building Gammas for Grand Prix. I would love that, dude. Why can't you fucking write Dragon Ball, you fuck? What are you doing leaving comments here? Thanks for the money, but really, you should be writing Dragon Ball right now.
I would.
And yeah,
I would.
Earlier,
Hedo and Jocko would be a great duo. I think they'd be great together, because I think that they'd both be nerds together, and it'd be nice to have somebody who treats Jocko nicely, because nobody treats Jocko nicely except at the Galactic Patrol. It'd be nice to have somebody on Earth who's like Jocko's little buddy, who likes his poses.
And that's a very Toriyama thing you said. And, you know, a lot of people got to understand, man, as much as the Cell and Frieza sagas are people's favorites in a lot of ways, Toriyama is more comfortable writing stuff like that. That's funny. So, and lighthearted. So that's the kind of stuff that he would write should he still be alive. Yeah, I wanted to address somebody in the chat, but I lost the comment earlier. They're saying, oh, well, if Super's remade, then they could canonize Daima. And I'm like, who the fuck is telling people that Daima's not canon, bro? Like, where do y'all get that fucking idea? Because there's contradictions to Super. You know how many contradictions are in the original fucking manga? Are you going to tell me that's not canon either? Like, I do not understand this whole,
people get really hung up on like the small contradictions. I need you to understand something about Toriyama Akira. I need you to understand something about this guy. He didn't care. He totally didn't care. He fitted in, and if somebody came to him and said, "But wait a minute, you know, Kaioshin shouldn't be defused right now. This doesn't make any sense," and Toriyama would be like, "Oh, okay," and then he'd keep making Dragon Ball Daima. He doesn't care. I'm telling you, just crowbar it in any way that makes your little fan brain feel good. Because Daima happened, and then Super happened, and that's always how it's been. It's in the continuity, and if it doesn't make sense to you, just fudge it. Just squint at it until it makes sense, because that's how it was always meant to be.
It's like, oh well, Vegeta has Super Saiyan 3, therefore it's not canon. Like, are you fucking like nuts? Like, and yeah, I've brought this up I don't know how many times, so I'm gonna say it again one more time for you to understand.
It's so funny.
I'm gonna say it again. Pay attention to what I'm saying. I have been studying Dragon Ball for 25 years, okay? I've produced over 3,000 videos on Dragon Ball. Am I pulling rank? Yes, I am. I've interviewed every major actor and talked to people that work on the fucking series. Listen to me. Pay attention. There is no canon. The Japanese do not care about canon. Enough. Enough. Stop it. But I'm still gonna do the canon video and explain to you what is and isn't canon, so fuck off. Anyways,
the manga.
The next, don't give away stuff that I may or may not say. Son Toby says, just make a DBS remake, it deserves it. I don't know about that one, bro. I don't know if it deserves it. Fernando Otoya says, I bet my ass it's DBS season 2 and a new manga arc. Well, first of all, do you really want to bet your ass? Because somebody will take it.
Somebody is going to come collecting for your ass.
That's right, bro. So you better fucking pull down a little.
You better be right.
Get ready. Yeah, otherwise this is going to happen to you, bro. Murasaki the Ninja. Oh, that's right. Nobody's seen Dragon Ball. And DBS season 2 and a new manga arc. I think I've already explained to people that it's not going to be manga related. But I'm going to say it again. It's probably not going to be manga related. So, all right, let's wrap up this. We're going to do one more topic and then we're out of here. DBS anime remake. How excited? 37% said very excited. 20% said excited. 23% said indifferent. And 19% hated it. This is the closest voting of the entire stream. This is the closest it's ever come. We are really split on this. 37%, which is the majority, but not by much, are excited or very excited. 20% are just excited. 24 don't care, and 19 don't want to see it. So that would mean that if you take 37 and 20, that's about 57%. So more than
so the majority are excited.
Yes, but they're not.
And a plurality are very excited. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not super hyped. And I can relate. It's not something necessary right now. If they do it, I hope there's an explanation, and I hope it gets to like Moro sooner than later so we can keep the series going. Okay, final topic is on the video game side. I'm just going to basically narrow it down to this, all right? I'm going to do a poll. I'm going to say, hold on, let me get this poll going here. Which do you want announced? All right, so I'm going to give y'all 4 different options. Option number 1 is Xenoverse 3. Option number 2 is Fighters 2. Option number 3. Whoa, what's so funny?
Trent had posted something really funny. He said, "Will you accept this collect call for your ass?"
Well, I'm telling you one thing. He's gonna have. I'll tell you what. He's gonna have to pay for his ass, bro. Hold on a minute here. Okay,
Broadcasting raw live from my ass. Boom, boom,
boom, boom. Let me think for a minute here. What was the other? Was I gonna do not fusions too? What was the? Hold
Sparking 0 2.
Sparking 1, yeah. I'm gonna say Sparking 0 sequel. How about that? Okay, so here's your options, y'all. Xenoverse 3, Fighters 2, Sparking 0 sequel, and then something else. Now, the something else can be anything else that you want. Go ahead and vote. I want to know what you think.
I want to pick multiple.
Well, you can't. You have to pick one. Which one do you want to see?
I know. Yeah.
I'm nervous too, bro. This is too big of an event for it to be a letdown. Just give us what we want. First of all, I've been telling you for months now, keep your expectations low. Second of all, when you say give us what we want, everybody wants something different. That's the problem, bro. Like everybody, Dragon Ball fans can almost never agree on anything. But I will say this. The thing that people want the most is a Moro Granola adaptation, at least for right now. So
yeah, I was about to say, who is we? Nintendo Wii? Like there is no Wii in the Dragon Ball fandom. There never has been, never will be.
Unfortunately, bro. Yeah, it's unfortunate. So let's see what people vote. Okay, they're voting. Okay, now I'm gonna hit you with a bit of a surprise pick here. I would like either a turn-based RPG or a Legacy of Goku type of RPG in the Demon Realm. That's what I want, with its own story, right? Goku and the others in the Demon Realm doing shit. That would be so awesome. I would eat that up.
If they made a new Dragon Ball game like the Legacy series and Boo's Fury,
yes,
I don't care where it's set. I'm on that day one. Like, there's no way I'm not buying that shit immediately. I loved those games.
Yes, I agree with you. Highball says Chrono Trigger style. You know, you're right, but play Dragon Quest.
See, here's the thing. That's actually my point about Daima. Like, if you're gonna do a Daima RPG, like it's gonna be really easy to make because the series is already basically an RPG.
But yes. But I want to address this. Kakarot. First of all, you butchered the spelling of Kakarot.
Kakarot sounds like the speedy dub.
Okay, let me repeat what I said, because clearly some people have issues listening. A Legacy of Goku, or a turn-based RPG that takes place in the Demon Realm. I didn't say Daima. I didn't say adapt Daima. I said it takes place in the Demon Realm. This is not, I do not want to play the story of Daima necessarily. I want a new story in a video game in the Demon Realm. So
I want a greatly expanded Daima in the Demon Realm as an RPG.
That's fine too. That's fine too. Yeah. But I want it to be Legacy of Goku style, not Kakarot.
I want them to have to gather crystals to open up the gates to the next Demon Realm, and they have to engage with all of the Demon Realm citizens and fight the Tamagamis to get the crystals, and there's more Tamagamis than there were before, and each one is like a power gate, and each of the characters can get power-ups and upgrades and weapons that keep Glorio and Pansy valid for the whole game. I would make me really happy.
We need Sparking Zero combat in a Xenoverse. You realize that there are two different games, right?
He's right.
No, but that's like saying, okay, but no, because that's like saying, I really would like Mario 3 to play like Sonic. No, they're two different games. They're similar, but that's not how it works. Like Sparking Zero is Sparking Zero, and Xenoverse is Xenoverse, bro. Like, you know, I like Sparking Zero combat more, but Sparking Zero is its own thing, bro. Now,
how about this? I want to be able to make custom characters in Sparking Zero and go on an adventure with them.
Number one, I was just gonna say that. I agree with you. I agree. And number two, I would love it if Sparking Zero or a Sparking game incorporated the time patrol and shit like that. That we can agree with, but they are two different types of games. So
yeah. But what about Ultimate Tenkaichi?
What about it, bro?
I love rock, paper, scissors, Danny.
Well,
it's my favorite game.
For the Toriyama. I like this, bro. I want Pokemon to be like Call of Duty. That's exactly my
honestly thing. that would be pretty great. That'd be pretty great. You could have the guns be Pokemon. You firing them.
I'm surprised there's not a hack yet.
I know someone's done something like that. There's a Dragon Ball version of Pokemon on the GBA, Dragon Ball Team Training.
And Pal Palsky, who apparently has a YouTube channel because people have been putting him over. Shout outs to Ann Pal Palsky. I have not seen your YouTube channel, but you know what? I'm going to check it out right now. Look at this guy getting free promotion on the greatest Dragon Ball YouTuber of all time's channel. Do not say Lance. Ann Pal Palsky. Let's see Ann Pal Palsky's channel here. Oh, his name is actually Ann Pal Palsky. That's his actual name.
Yes.
Oh, he's got 451K? I don't know this guy. Now I know. I've never even heard of this guy. No offense. Not anything. It's not your fault, bro. I don't watch Dragon Ball content. I just make it. Why have I not heard of this guy? I'm very disconnected sometimes, especially this year. Huh?
Yeah, I'm also disconnected as well.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of the new guys coming up.
I only discovered Carthu like a year ago, and like that guy's been huge for ages. Like I'm totally disconnected from Dragon Ball content.
Yeah, especially this year, I've been very disconnected. I've had a lot of other shit going on. You know about that, but we need a Dragon Ball Mario Kart style game. Agreed. Especially after that panel in the Trunks arc, that would be great.
Dragon Ball Party, yeah, with mini games. That'd be fun.
Oh, look at this guy, Sparking Zero Combat and RPG with custom characters, bro. You understand that if a game like that came out, it would signal the end of the world. Like that's like a prophecy, you know. And
that will come out at the same time as the Pokemon MMO. Actually, I shouldn't say that anymore.
Yeah, I know, right? And Pal Palsky, and I'm pretty sure it's Ann Pal and whatever. No, I am not going to flame you because I don't know you. For all we know, you might be a super genius. And if so, you're probably autistic. So, which is okay because there's a couple guys on the call right now who are also autistic. Anyways, let's get this super chat that just came in from David Kelly. Something else. Multiple planet RPG starring Miras imprisoning baddies around the universe with a base at Galactic Patrol while having angel training. This is another one of those like the world's gonna end soon things. You know, like the idea is so good that the world's gonna end soon. I already said what I want. I want a Jocko game that plays like Mega Man, where it's just a side-scrolling shooting game with Jocko. That's what I want.
And instead of Zero, it can have Miras.
But you have to unlock him though. You have to unlock him.
Yeah, I know.
And
no, but Jocko gets stronger than Miras by the end of the game.
Yes, because when you beat a boss, you don't take their weapon and incorporate it into your body like what Mega Man did, but you to get a new weapon. See, that would be a great game. Or a Ninja Gaiden style game with Trunks.
Yeah, that'd be something.
I'm thinking outside the box, bro. Like, fuck all this sparking Budokai bullshit. We got Dragon Ball has 150,000 fighting games. Give me something different. The world is so big, they can do almost anything, bro. They can do.
We should do a city simulator like SimCity, but it's Trunks in the future rebuilding his world.
Don't even get me started on SimCity, bro. I'll never put that game down. Have they made a Dragon Ball Roblox type game? They haven't, right?
I don't think so.
You have to build a Tournament of Power arena, bro. Like in the fucking at the end of every super episode, they kept fucking. Yeah. Anyways, so let me check the poll results. Then we're gonna get out of here. Right now, Xenoverse 3 is winning 48%. That's almost half the people. Fighters got 12%. Fuck y'all for that, bro. Fighters is the best game out of all these.
I want
All
to see a
right.
new Fighters game. It's time.
Me too. Sparking Zero sequel got 11%, and something else got 30%. So I just want to say this, and I want y'all to hear me out for a minute here. It's not that I don't want to see Xenoverse 3. It's that I don't think we have enough new content to justify them making a new Xenoverse 3. I think the only way for them to make Xenoverse 3 now is if we wait until more manga arcs come out, until more anime stuff comes out, until more movies come out, then they could do it. I think Xenoverse 3 is inevitable, but I think it's too soon right now. What do you think?
I think Xenoverse 3 has plenty of content because the point of Xenoverse isn't going through more content. It's the point of how they affect the content using the time patrol. In Xenoverse 1 and 2, it's really low effort. Just look, it's the same guy, except he's purple and his number is bigger, which is boring. Why can't we just get some like what ifs and like different universes? Like there's a multiverse and we have to go in and it's the multiverse where Frieza won, or it's the multiverse where Cell killed Gohan because he didn't listen to Goku.
Like Dragon Ball multiverse.
Sure, why not? It would be cool if they could go into like splinter universes, like bubble universes, where like it's actually seriously different. Like we're not just defending the status quo, but like we're like avenging a broken universe. That could be fun.
That could be fun. That actually be pretty good, I would say. Hold on. Nimble says, please make an OG Dragon Ball game that plays like Dragon Quest Dai Infinity Strash. I have not played Dragon Quest Dai Infinity Strash, but I do want more OG Dragon Ball games. Listen right now. There are 2 games that y'all need to play. Enough with Dokkan and Legends, enough with Sparking Zero and Xenoverse. You will thank me. You will thank me for this. Find Dragon Ball Advance Adventure on Game Boy Advance and find Dragon Ball Revenge of King Piccolo on the Wii. Play those games. Put Dokkan aside, put Legends aside, and play those games. Trust me.
I always had this idea in the back of my brain where it was an RPG where you start as Goku at level 1. And as he goes through the hunt for the Dragon Balls, like he levels up one at a time. And then as he changes in the arcs, the amount of levels goes up higher and higher and higher, and you level up even faster. Until like eventually by the end of the game, you're in like billions and billions and billions of levels. So like the numbers get so outstandingly huge during the game that you have the idea of Dragon Ball where you've like traveled such a long distance from just snakes where you have to stamp on them a few times at level 1. And then eventually you're fighting like incredible world-ending threats with billions and billions of levels. I always thought that would be really, really cute.
Which is basically a power level type thing.
Right.
I can do the snake.
Yeah, I always thought that would be a really cool way to incorporate the whole series without it being like, at level 60, I fought Cell. At level 70, I fought Majin Buu. And it doesn't feel the same.
Super Saiyan 4 MUI, a hit game where we collect bounties. Honestly, bro, a hit game that is similar to like Red Dead Revolver, Red Dead Redemption, that could work, although I don't want any of that horse shit, pun intended.
I can't believe you missed Hitman.
Oh, that's right, Hitman. Have you ever played the Hitman games?
Yeah, I love them. They're so much fun.
Do you remember that scene where the guy's taking a piss? You can actually see his dick, and I think it's the first one.
No, I haven't played all of them.
Oh no, that happens in a game, bro. Because my friend brought it over on the PS2. The guy's taking a piss, and if you use your sniper rifle and you zoom all the way into where he's taking a piss, you see his dick, bro, and he's shaking it. I could not stop laughing. That's in Hitman, I swear.
That's right, everybody. Hitman is one of the deepest, most interesting open sandbox games where you can make any decision you want. And when Danny hears about the series, he goes, remember that one time where you could see a dude's dick? How expected. We love Geekdom 101.
On brand, bro. On brand. People gotta laugh a little bit more, bro. I hate when I make fucking jokes. Oh, you're weird. Bro, you're fucking weird, bro. Like, enjoy life. Stop fucking being so fucking, people are so uptight, bro. Like, just enjoy life. You're only gonna be here for a few years, bro. Listen, I'm 41. I fucking was 25 yesterday. It's gone in a second, bro. So enjoy life. Enjoy life.
Just have a great time.
I agree with JD here. That's probably true. But I do think it's still too soon for Xenoverse 3. I'm not against it. I'm just saying it's too soon.
I think too soon for Xenoverse 3. I want you to go to a place where people play Xenoverse 2 and say, it's too soon for Xenoverse 3. You'll be lynched.
No, you know what's funny?
They'll hang you up on a pole. They'll take your clothes away, and they'll draw and quarter you.
Bro. You're right. About 4 or 5 years ago, I remember making a joke where I said, I was like, I just came back from the future. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, Xenoverse 2 DLC Pack 47 has just released, and we have Farmer with a shotgun. And I said it as a joke. And I feel like
I low-key would like Farmer with a shotgun in Xenoverse. That'd be fun.
But no. Here's the thing. I said it as a joke, character. But it actually is coming true.
Juvenile Salazar says thoughts on a Budokai 4 though, but I already like Infinite World.
Yeah, Infinite World's great. Yeah,
on the PS2, it's a great game.
I would love a legit Budokai 4 or 5, whatever. I would. Okay, this guy's been there the whole stream. Let me make this clear, brother. This is not a call-in stream. This is Super Magic Show. This is not a call-in stream. This is Super
I live here.
Show. Yeah, he's
can't make me leave.
Guest. He's the guest. We're not taking other calls, all right? However, I'm not against bringing in more than one guest, but usually it's just 2 people because otherwise, it gets convoluted. So, too many people. I think Fighters 2 should wait until we have Granola and Moro animated. I think that's just my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I think whatever is actually happening, I think that Ioku probably wants to just do Moro.
Of course.
But we don't know what's happening.
If he does the regular Super remake, that could be leading to it. Look at this one. How do you feel about
if he does
being... go ahead.
Oh, sorry. If they do a Dragon Ball remake, or if they do Dragon Ball SD, or if they do a movie, I think that if Ioku was given the opportunity to do whatever he wanted, I think he would do Moro. All right, whatever's happening. Anyway, go ahead. Vegeta being 57.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, what's the problem with this? Look, one day, God willing, I'm going to be 57 and you're going to be 57. If you make it to 57, it's a blessing.
Vegeta's 46. Vegeta's 46.
I know, but that's not the point. You get my point.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I answered this, bro. I'm pretty sure the last video I put out literally answers this question. Come on, Talon. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, God.
Dragon Ball Super Final Bout.
No, please. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I want to say this, though. Those of you who have been patiently waiting for the game room stream, good news. I cleaned up my game room today, so it's going to be coming probably next week. There's a possibility I may do it on Friday since SmackDown's already been taped and Raw tonight is taped. So I already read the results. I don't care enough about the show to sit through it. So I may do the Man Cave stream Friday or next week. I don't know when yet. So look forward to that. So I am going to see if I can get it in before the end of the year. Medios, do you have anything to plug or, anything you want to shout out before we get out of here?
Yes, I do. Everyone should subscribe to the Geekdom 101 channel. Subscribe to the Geekdom 101 channel right here for more streams just like this one.
Just like this one.
Yes. Extend your subscription to Geekdom 101.
Extend your subscription. Yeah. Yes.
And Noibo the bell to get notifications for new videos.
This is Medios, and this is Medios, and this is Medios with Blue Chew.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say who. I shouldn't be saying this publicly, but I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm not going to say who, guys, but there is a Dragon Ball YouTuber who I have worked with in the past who's a friend of mine. Okay? I'm just going to say this. And recently we had a conversation about Blue Chew. And he goes, Danny, have you ever tried Blue Chew? And I'm like, no, I haven't. He goes, bro, I felt like I was 16. And he starts telling me about how great Blue Chew is. And he's younger than I am, way younger. And he's like marking out over Blue Chew. And I want to, if I do an impression of his voice, you're going to know who it is. But it's one of those stories that if people online actually got to know us outside of YouTube, if you actually got to know the real me or him or anybody, you would be surprised as to who the douchebags are and who the good people are. Because a lot of people want to frame me as being a douchebag, and everybody in my inner circle, no, bro, Black and Fist is a fucking virgin. Come on. This fucking guy said smug stick, bro. This fucking guy said smug stick. No, listen. A lot of assholes want to frame me as this fucking asshole. And I can be an asshole sometimes. I can be an asshole. The ones you have to watch out for are the ones who are super nice, because those are the ones that are fake. Just making sure you know that. This guy, there's people guessing every YouTuber in the chat, bro.
If you speak to people who know Danny personally, who are in Danny's personal circle, who know him, who are on his Discord server, which you can join if you become a tier 2 subscriber to the channel, every single one of them will tell you the truth, which is that he's a douchebag.
Yes, I'm a horrible human being, bro. This fucking guy said DBS Chronicles, bro. Fucking Chronicles is the one that needs the Blue Chew.
Yamcha has a bigger wiener.
I've never talked to Dotto Doya outside of Twitter, bro. I've never spoken to the guy. Jordan!
Yamcha has a big wiener than Goku.
Jordan. Okay. Ant-Man says Prince Vegeta. Okay, it's not Prince Vegeta, but I'm going to tell you this right now.
I like him.
I like him too. I would bet a lot of money that he has tried Blue Chew. So, anyways, we're getting out of here. Have a good one. Take care. We'll see you guys later this week. Merry Christmas if you celebrate it.
And a Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year. And we'll be back soon. See you when we see you.